Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network and stream the Cardinals. Visit FanDuelSportsNetwork.com to subscribe. It's 9:04. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show.
You know who it is.
Also, if you didn't know, this is called The Show.
On 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Good morning, friends. It is a beautiful Friday, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Let's go.
Shabby.
Let's go. Hancock and Kelly with Chris and Amy to start the show today. On this wonderful Friday. It is May 9th. We're with you until 12 o'clock today. Then it's the Gas House Gang. Our number is 314-436-7900. You can call and text that number. Leave us a voice message from the Odyssey app. Tap the send a message button, and we would love to hear from you. Also, if you want to look at us, you can. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everyone will be talking about.
Yeah, baby. We have an American Pope for the first time ever, and he's been to St. Louis. Actually, used to live here.
Yeah?
And he might know who Chris Ranji is. We'll get to that.
Maybe.
He might know.
There's a non-zero chance.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane. Meanwhile, President Trump said that the United States should or could lower its 145% tariff on most Chinese goods down to 80%.
And the Cardinals begin a series on the road tonight. They will take on the Nationals. It's a 5:45 first pitch. Well, the pregame show with Matt Pauley at 4:50. So
Okay.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly, Amy Marks Kors, and Chris Ranji.
Guys,
Yo.
literally, Pope Leo
Yeah.
might not only know who Chris Ranji is, but might be like, that guy's a total jerk. He doesn't know what he's talking
Possible.
about. He might have said that in
It
his
is
life.
possible.
Can you believe it?
So
the
it's
Pope
not-
might know who Ranji is.
I don't think it's likely.
It's not unlikely.
I don't think it's likely.
He's a Sox
No,
fan.
wait a minute.
So-
There's about
but
12
you
of them.
You did the pre and post game for the White Sox for
Yes.
how many years?
10.
10 years.
He did some play-by-play.
And
A
we
little
know
bit.
that Robert would come home, and because he's got family.
He's got
still
a
in
brother
Chicago.
lives in. Yeah.
We know that Robert is a White Sox fan.
He went to the World
Went
Series.
to back in 05, and so likely he would drive to the game with his brother,
Possible.
and they'd have the
possible.
whatever.
What if he called
what
it?
What if he
station?
called it?
What
So-
station were you on there?
That was the Score, which
Yeah.
is a sister station of ours
Yeah,
here in
owned
at
by
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Yeah.
And so you're driving to the game, you're listening to the pregame on the radio in the car,
I'm going to call this nitwit up and tell him.
or
Oh.
what an insightful,
I used to get a lot of that.
What an insightful analyst this guy is.
I used to
What's his name again?
Yeah.
That's Chris Ranji. Oh, Chris Ranji.
What
Yeah,
if
yeah.
What if you didn't get to talk to him because of your Bob rule?
I'll tell you about that in a
A
second.
Bob rule?
So, yeah. So his name is Robert
Uh-huh.
Prevost, and there's still sort of a running joke at the Score that anybody named Bob who calls from the South Side is a terrible caller. So it would be like the Bears would lose, and on a Monday they'd be like, "We are not taking any calls from a Bob today. No South Side Bob.
But now that's
Pope Bob.
Southside Bob.
I know.
Wow.
It's so funny.
It's
Anyway,
amazing.
but I loved this thing that happened yesterday where as soon as he got named Pope, within 10 minutes, people are like, well, wait a minute, is he a Sox or a Cubs fan?
Right.
Because you want to know. And at first, it was Dick Durbin, I think, was the
Lion
first
Dick
person
Durbin.
who called him a Cubs fan and said, yeah, we know he's a Cubs fan. And the Cubs, even on their marquee, they put something like the Pope is a Cubs fan
Yeah.
or something like that.
Right.
And they tweeted it out. Well, it turns out that was wrong. So here is the Pope's brother, John.
Yeah, he was never, ever a Cubs fan, so I don't know where that came from. He was always a Sox fan. Our mother was a Cubs fan. I don't know, maybe that clued in there. And our dad was a Cardinals fan, so I don't know where that all came from. And all the aunts, our mom's family was from the North Side, so that's why they were Cubs fans.
But he rooted for the White Sox.
That's right. But where it came from, I don't know, because he would have been the only one.
Yeah, so that was from WGN TV. Did you hear what he said in there?
His
Yes.
dad,
Yeah.
sounds
Dad
like
was a
the
Cardinals
brightest guy
fan.
out there.
There you
I
go.
know, right?
Well,
Yeah.
and the Pope was born in 1955. That was a kind of a dry era for the Cardinals. Although they did have Stan Musial, Ken Boyer,
Yeah.
over at third base, Bill White playing first base back in those days.
And the 1959 White Sox went to the World Series.
They did.
So
Manny
that was
Minoso.
they were really good in the late 50s and early 60s and mid 60s.
Yeah.
Well, and there's a good chance that the Pope listened to KMOX while he was here.
He was here.
He would have to have.
Yeah.
I bet that's like a 90%
Or at
chance.
home if his dad was a Cardinals fan.
He needed to know if he had to go to school.
So what year was he here?
1977.
Okay, so it would have been Jack Buck and Mike Shannon on
Wow.
the calls.
So if he was here in
Yeah.
1977 and lived here for about a year, he would have had
And he
to
also-
have heard
he
KMOX.
He was in the former Immaculate Conception St. Henry Parish in Compton Heights, which means there's a very good chance he went to Ted Drew's.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't
Wow,
live
you're
here and
just
not
going to
go.
start coming up with these. Yeah,
I
maybe
can't-
he went to the free zoo.
I mean, he probably did. And here's the thing, because I went from being like, wow, like I know the Pope is really big news
Yeah.
and it's constant coverage on CNN and CBS. I was
Yeah.
a little surprised it was constant. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, it's a big deal. But as soon as it was an American Pope, suddenly I'm like, we're talking about nothing else.
It was
Hey,
unbelievable.
PJ, can you get this guy on the phone for an interview?
We're trying.
What,
Okay.
the Pope or
Yes.
his brother?
Oh.
No, we want
I
the
was,
phone.
I was trying to locate his brother, and I was told that he's traveling to Rome today.
Probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
likely story.
Yeah,
He's
sure.
got another
whatever.
brother in Florida.
Huh?
He has another brother in Florida.
But think about this, guys. Like, because I mean, these folks were just watching TV like us, right? Like, of course, yeah, their brother's there,
Yeah.
but no American's ever going to be the Pope. And then all of a sudden, the curtain parts.
There
And it's
he
your
is.
brother.
It
brother.
is so funny you said that because yesterday, after we were done with the show and Fred Bottomer came in, he's our religion editor, and we had him on for about an hour and a half.
He was excellent.
He's great.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me, like, wait a minute, does the Pope, when he gets notified, does he get to call friends or family and say, hey, I'm about to be the Pope?
Turn on the
Or
news.
do they find out like everybody else does? And I asked Fred after the show, and he's like, you know what? I don't know. And it turns out that's exactly what happened. They were watching TV, and he knew that his brother was a finalist. And the white smoke comes out. He calls his, I think it was his niece, and says, you need to turn the TV on. The Pope, or the white smoke is happening. And then they hear his name, and they freak out.
Right.
Like, I mean, can you?
Well, what
I
about
couldn't imagine.
What about
No.
the Pope? What about going to bed last night as the Pope? You're Bob from Southside Chicago, and suddenly you're like, oh my gosh! And then
Southside Bob is a Pope. I can't believe it.
I know, Southside
I can't
Bob
believe
is the
it.
Pope. And then he wakes up this morning like, what happened? I'm the Pope.
And all truth and all seriousness, yesterday watching it, when he first came up and he was waving at everybody and he did his original blessing, there was that 5 minutes of silence. I don't know if you guys saw it, but they zoomed in on his face a couple of times and you could tell he was
Yeah.
sniffing it up. And it clearly must have been an emotional moment.
Someone did tweet, I think not a religious person, that he said, he goes, he's been a White Sox fan his whole life, and he still believes in God. I respect that.
That's not bad.
I
Oh,
wonder.
man.
I wonder if he voted for himself.
Can you?
You can.
Yeah, you're a Cardinal.
Yeah.
You get a
I'd vote for myself, because what if you are the tie-breaking vote?
right.
What if like you're magnanimous and you vote for someone else?
I mean, the idea is, I know this is completely unrealistic and naive to think that they all don't want the job, but you're supposed, they're supposed to find somebody who doesn't really campaign for it or want it, right? It's supposed to be somebody who would prefer not to have that.
So I guess they're
I don't
not
know.
printing yard signs.
But you know,
No.
you know that like they're men, right? So
Yeah.
there are some of them who clearly want to do it.
Oh yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
guys see the movie Conclave?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw it. It's excellent. I watched it again the other
The
night.
Pope watched it.
Did he really?
Yeah, he watched it before he went in to vote. They had several Cardinals, not several, I think a lot of Cardinals watched the movie to kind of get a vibe for how
It
it would
works?
go, because they had never voted before.
Yeah.
Not even
That's
joking. This
interesting.
was on CBS News.
And I
Yeah.
did the same thing. Once they went into Conclave, I watched it on Monday night, and it was kind of cool to see the ceremony and the pomp and circumstance that goes around it. Of course, it's a Hollywood movie, so it's got its own story, whatever. But if you can put that aside, it was pretty cool. I would imagine it was, to be in the middle of all
Well,
that.
what are your thoughts on it? You're the only Catholic in the room, aren't you?
Well, I am. I'm a Catholic.
Jessica, you're not Catholic, right?
He's
No.
Lutheran, which
You're
is
Lutheran.
close.
We keep talking about that. Lutheran.
It's not close.
I don't think my feelings are much different than your all's, in the sense that, number one, it is kind of cool. I mean, we all know that we could grow up to be president of the United States, at least males to this point.
I got closer than you did.
Yeah, but I mean, but you know, now you can be the Pope. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
So, and then from
You got closer
someone,
than I did.
John, you can never be Pope.
No.
Look,
Somehow I think John has a better chance than Michael, even though John's not Catholic.
Oh no, I'd run a campaign against Hancock.
Yeah.
We'd get it out in the paper.
Oh man.
Your only goal would be to make sure John doesn't get it.
Yeah, exactly. We'd just be Heckle and Jekyll like the two old Muppets in the background. Look at this nitwit over here.
You can't have two popes.
Yeah, you can.
That's the show.
You can?
Two popes.
Yes.
That's
We
the
just
show.
had two popes. One was not getting to make the calls anymore.
Benedict, he was still
Pope
pumping when Francis became the Pope.
But he was incapacitated, right?
No,
He just
He
stepped
walked
aside.
out of
Oh,
the
he just,
place.
that's okay.
he just got old.
But I
and
mean,
said,
you
"I'm not
can't. You
gonna
don't
do
have
it."
two acting popes.
No.
Not
for,
two acting
like,
popes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Can't have that.
no.
We do have, like I said, Twitter was golden yesterday.
Yes.
Bad news. One person tweeted, the new Pope is from Chicago, which means the Vatican is obviously missing the playoffs for the next 5 years.
Oh, that's not nice.
One of the cute ones I saw was the Chicago Bowl entrance
Yes.
sound. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, the
Yeah.
ball.
At
Yes.
5'10" from
Is it
Southside
Alan Parson
Chicago.
Project? Is that what it's called? Yeah,
right.
that song.
Also,
Okay.
this is the first Pope in history who had an opinion about the Bulls trading Elton Brand for Tyson Chandler.
I got to tell you though,
That's great.
I'm hopeful. Everybody's got a hot take, but I'm hopeful that he kind of walks in the same path of the previous Pope. And as somebody right now who's looking around the world and thinking, man, there's not much hope in a lot of the world leadership. Yesterday, I felt hope. I don't know that this man's going to change the trajectory of the world immediately or at all. But for, I think that it did provide some hope, and I'm hopeful.
I think the American Catholic Church is going to respond to this, I think, in a fairly significant way.
Mm-hmm.
And church attendance generally is down, has been for the better part of a decade now. And I think you may very well see a spike in participation by a lot of lapsed Catholics.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something I'm going to keep an eye on, because when we talked about it in our lengthy show this morning, that that could have some real political implications as well, because the Catholic vote in this country really is the backbone of the swing vote, and in a very real sense, it determines the outcome of elections. Does the Catholic vote? So, in that sense, this could be a very transformative figure in the world, and certainly here in the U.S.
I guess quick question as we go to break here. Do you make anything of people scouring the Pope's Twitter feed, right? He's got a Twitter history now, and he had some criticism for J.D. Vance and some of Trump's policies.
Yep.
What happens with that?
I think he's definitely in the social justice lane where Pope Francis was.
And Jesus.
And but I also think he might be a little less magnanimous towards some of the moral issues that Francis, kind of LGBTQ stuff. And my sense is, from what I've read, is that he's pretty down the middle or down the line on all the moral questions of the church. So he's going to be an interesting case.
But the Catholic Church has been pretty consistent, though, on both sides of the debate of liberalism and traditionalism in support of migrants and immigrants. That seems to have been universal, led by Francis, and even Cardinal Dolan, who's often aligned with the more conservative wing, has spoken about it weekly.
That's Michael Kelly and John Hancock with us. It is the Chris and Amy Show. These boys stick around for, an hour? Like a whole hour with us until 11 o'clock. It's Chris and Amy, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
If you have been in a car accident in the past and have settled your case, I may have some good news. Some unethical lawyers have people known as runners who come directly to your hospital room or home and solicit your case. It's a disbarable offense. Anyone that would hire these scumbags needs to have their heads examined. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Now for the good news. If this happened to you, we will sue these lowlifes and fight to get all your fees back. And then look and see if these bottom feeders also malpracticed your case and sue them for that too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Visit forthepeople.com for a free consultation or call Pound Law on your cell, pound 529. If someone does this to you, call the Bar Association and report them. Let's fight these bums. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
College holds a mythic place in American culture, but there are stories you won't hear on the campus tours.
The higher-ups are concerned about one thing, and that is avoiding scandal.
I'm Margot Gray. On the new podcast, Campus Files, we cover everything from rigged admissions to the drama of Greek life and student protests. Listen to and follow Campus Files, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now on the free Odyssey app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler, and I'd like to introduce our newest associate, Dr. Adam Voss.
Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Voss, the newest addition to the Audiology Center. I'm very excited to join this amazing team. I'm a St. Louis native, graduated from Washington University School of Medicine, and I'm passionate about hearing healthcare and connecting people back to the things that matter to them most: family, friends, music, or even their favorite British TV drama. At the Audiology Center, we care for our patients like our own family. If you ever need anything, come on by or call us and we will make sure to address questions or issues same day. My ultimate goal as your audiologist is to listen to your individual needs and guide you on your journey to improved hearing. There are a lot of audiologists in town, but only one Audiology Center. We might not know how to change a tire, but we know a thing or two about audiology. And I want our current and future patients to know that you can trust us with your hearing healthcare needs.
Thanks, Dr. Voss. The Audiology Center, 3 locations. Come visit us at theaudiologycenterstl.com for more information.
Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Anderson has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1957. rbastl.com.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from the Gelman team of eXp Realty. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
I would just like to say you guys are awesome. I've just been turned on to this since it's been on 104.1 at the FM dial, and I think you guys make me laugh, and you're informative. I just love your guys' show. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
That was the new Pope.
That was Jason.
Oh, sorry.
Yes. That was Pope Bob.
That was Pope Bob calling in.
That was good, Amy.
It was nice of my brother to take the time to do that today.
Jason Hancock. No, thank you for the kind voice message.
Was that for Hancock and Kelly?
No.
No. Huh.
No, not you guys. Come on.
I think it was all of us. It was a collective,
Oh.
probably.
Oh, yeah.
At least
Okay.
for these good hour of togetherness we have on Fridays.
I love this hour.
One out of
I
15 hours a week we're with you guys. 1/15 of the time.
That's true. I can't. What I don't know what
That's
you're.
not, well, it's 1/20th.
Well,
for
no.
Ranj.
Yes, because I'm on more than Amy.
Oh,
is
you
now.
got the
I got demoted.
gaseous.
Well,
the gaseous game.
more work for the same amount of pay.
Well,
no, but there
Steve called. It's not a demotion, but I'm taking you off the radio.
For the Gas House Gang at 12 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday, talking sports.
Yeah.
But it's got to be
Don't
a
want any
little
lady
bit
thoughts.
of lightness on your shoulders as you're driving in on Friday, knowing, you know what? We got Hancock and Kelly.
Oh,
They're
it's my
going to take
favorite.
care of the morning
yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
The day's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dance
You know?
monkeys. I don't want to have to do anything for this hour.
I mailed it in last night.
There you go.
Dance.
We was like, so what's going on with politics? And then I turn off my mic.
Nope. I'm out. I'm out on this politics stuff.
I honest to goodness, it's been so much fun. Like seeing the response and the interviews about the American Pope. And I think it is outstanding. Quite literally, Pope Leo at one point in his life could have said, like, I don't like Chris Ranji.
It's true.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Or conversely,
Do
he
you
could
think
have
that
said,
would be a common reaction for people who listen to Chris Ranji? Is that why you're
Possibly,
assuming
yeah.
he would have
Yep.
that opinion?
Yeah, well,
in
there's
him?
a
I don't
big
know
long
why-
story on him on the Athletics.
yeah, I don't know why you guys are taking this particular tack, because if you're a White Sox fan
Yeah.
and you're listening to the pregame and the postgame show when you've gone to the game, you're probably appreciating the insight
Mm-mm.
of somebody who
Nope.
knows baseball,
No,
who's
you don't.
talking about
well,
the
Nope.
game.
Hold on. Let me stop you right there, John. After a loss,
Yeah.
the post-game show,
Yeah.
woof. I know. I hear Matt Pauley talk about, the callers and the texts that he gets, and he gets frustrated. My God, there is nothing angrier than a South Side baseball fan after their baseball team loses.
Yeah, but
Again.
it
And
happens
they
all
are-
the
and they
time. Aren't
are-
they used to it?
No.
Can I just say,
Well, when I started with them, they were really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you're losing, then that's a oof.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's a
can
problem.
I just say I have up on my computer screen a New York Times article / The Athletic article. Here's the title. What about Danks? Remembering the sensation that was Chris Ranji's White Sox radio show. Once
Yeah.
there was a place where
Wow.
a particular niche of Chicago fans could go
New
to
York
express
Times.
their anger
Yeah.
and
Ever been in the
frustration.
New York Times, Hancock?
Yeah.
Me too.
What were you guys in the
That
in the
was not
Times for?
good in
I don't
either
wanna
case,
talk
so
about
we
it.
don't want to talk about it.
Well,
What about you? I think we know about John's.
Yes.
I think we know that. What about what about you, Michael?
Go Google. Similar.
I just think
Same.
what if the Pope was part of this? I mean, the whole story on the New York Times / Athletic about Chris Ranji is about all of your listeners were angry.
So, what those people are called, the callers who call in and they're always mad about
Yeah.
something,
Bob from
and they're any Bob from the South Side,
Yeah.
when they're mad about something, we call them meatballs. So I am curious to know if the
If
Pope
the Pope
is
was a meatball,
if he's Pope Meatball. Like, was he one of those sports fans who got irrationally
minute.
angry at everything?
like Meatball Bob.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
That man
Probably
doesn't
not.
look like a guy who flies off
No.
the handle.
No, probably not.
I mean, if you're calm enough to sit there and let them put all those clothes on you, and then well, you can deal with a little
Fred
bad baseball.
Bottomer said they have his custom robes aren't made yet, but they have robes for when the Pope is selected, and he picks small, medium, or large. Not even joking.
Right.
There's small, medium, and large robes
It's like
hanging up
going
in
to
the.
Augusta National. They got everybody's size there.
Do
you
they?
know?
I always wondered how that works.
Yeah. And then they'll tailor it later.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. Which would you rather have, the Pope robe or the green jacket? I think I'd like the green jacket.
Well, do you know you're not allowed to take the green jacket out of there ever unless there's
Yeah.
some sort of formal event?
Really?
Like
not
the green
allowed to- yeah,
jacket
it
stays at
stays there.
Augusta.
So nobody like Jack Nicklaus doesn't have a green jacket at
That's
his
correct.
house?
That's terrible.
I agree.
He only wears it when he's
I
on
didn't
the
know about
property.
that.
Yeah.
I just learned about this year.
I've known this
I
for
thought-
years
that
because
sounds
I said
quite
I would
papal.
wear it all over the place.
I thought
and
you
they
got
said
to-
you
oh,
can't.
That's
That's
nuts.
un-American.
I agree with you.
You've won the green jacket.
Can't
It's
take it
your
home.
green jacket.
Augusta
Can't
is
take it home.
pretty un-American in some ways. They've got some stringent
But also-
rules.
But you won the green jacket.
You
Yeah,
can't
but if you're
take this-
telling Jack Nicholas you can't take your green jacket,
Yeah.
nobody gets to take their green jacket.
Yeah, that's wrong. That needs to be fixed. Now, that's something I would support an executive order on.
Do you think in 100 years the Pope will have like a spiffy blazer instead of the robes?
I think this one will be dead.
What?
What?
Oh, you were asking about a pope from 100. This pope 100 years from now.
What about?
I thought you were talking about this particular pope.
How about this guy earlier in the office today saying, Michael Kelly saying, guys, this could be the last pope of our lifetimes. Like,
It
what the
really
hell?
could.
Then he started spouting off our ages.
He's 69 years old.
Yeah.
So some of these popes have lived to be 100 years old.
All right.
How many years you got left in you, Ron?
I don't know, buddy.
Huh?
I don't know.
I think I
Well, we're
got
ready.
the short straw on this time.
We're
Hancock
ready for
and Kelly.
Ron's loss.
Hancock and Kelly. Yeah, we are. The show is prepared for when I die.
Yeah, we already have an open for when he dies.
Hancock and Kelly, Chris and Amy on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Currently, it is 58 degrees downtown at the Arch. It will be sunny all day today, a high of 73. Tomorrow, gorgeous, mostly sunny, and a high of 77. Weather brought to you by Overhead Door St. Louis. Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead for same-day service. Schedule online at overheaddoorstlewis.com or call 314-781-5200.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Do you know that by donating your gently used items to Goodwill, you're not only giving those items a new life, but you're helping people right here in your community enrich their lives with meaningful work? Your donations support Goodwill's mission of helping people with barriers to employment to be able to get rewarding jobs which provide not only a paycheck, but a very important sense of purpose. Your donations really do change lives. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Cardinals fans, join the conversation at Busch Stadium with some of your favorite former Cardinals. With the Cardinals Conversations presented by Edward Jones, you'll hear from former Cardinals such as Ozzie Smith, Ted Simmons, Ray Langford, David Eckstein, or David Freese. Each conversation hosted by Cardinals announcers Chip Carey or Brad Thompson. Your experience also will include a ticket to the game, a pre-signed photo, and the opportunity to take your photo with the featured player. Get your tickets today at cardinals.com/conversations.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
John Hancock and Michael Kelly on the Chris and Amy Show, 9 to noon, every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tuesday, too.
Is that new?
Don't forget about Tuesday.
What song is that?
I don't know what that was.
Song for America by Kansas.
Are you okay?
Got a frog in my throat.
Yeah, it happens.
Frog in your throat. Wonder where that expression comes from.
Somebody had a frog in their throat.
No, it's probably not.
Because you're a little hoarse.
I got a friend of mine who's got a CPAP machine. I'm not talking about you, Hancock.
Yeah.
And
Smiley face this morning. by the
as
way.
my best friend from
nice.
growing up.
You're in a good mood.
His
Yeah.
name's Michael. Michael and I grew up together. And so he calls me one day and he says, man, I got a story for you. You got one of these CPAP machines? I said, no. He goes, well, I've been having a sore throat. And I said, really? And he goes, and I got paranoid that I wasn't washing my CPAP machine well enough and all this other stuff, etc. And so sure enough, he tells me
You're supposed to wash that thing.
He does wash it.
Oh.
And so he tells me that he wakes up one night, just couldn't deal with it anymore, takes it, throws it off, etc. Couldn't. The next morning, it was one of those little geckos that was climbing into his mouth and then going back into
it was not.
No.
Let me just tell you, it's the truth. And it would go back into the machine, and it had its little home there. And then at nighttime, it was going into his throat.
on.
That
No
can't possibly
way.
I'm just telling you right
Who
now.
said this?
My friend Michael and everybody, my family who's listening right now would be calling to tell you Michael's not
Does
a
he
person
live
who's
in
lied.
Florida?
No, he lives in Hawaii.
Oh.
He's a United States military, United States
Kind of a
Army.
big deal.
It would be really funny if it were a St. Louis gecko.
It was a gecko.
prob-
Do we have geckos here?
No.
We have lizards?
Well,
We
people
do have
probably
lizards.
people import them, I'm sure.
No, but
We
I
don't
mean,
just have native lizards, do we?
Like I know what the Ozarks in the summertime, I see little lizards around. I never see any
Did
little
anyone
lizards
see
around St. Louis.
Oh, I
Do you?
have. Yeah.
The Parent
Really?
Trap with Dennis Quaid and Lindsay Lohan, both Lindsay Lohans. And there's a scene where a gecko goes into Meredith, the mean new stepmom, her mouth, and she's like screaming, but the gecko's legs are hanging out of his
that's
mouth.
disgusting.
That's what happened to
That's
his
what
friend.
happened to Michael.
Do you think that's where he got that? He got it. He got the
his sore
sore
throat.
Yeah. No, he probably saw that movie and it's stuck in his head, and now he
You
thinks
think-
that was
No,
his
You think
experience.
I'm telling you this,
a
man.
Marine
You
in
change-
Hawaii is going to lie, go, oh, I saw that Lindsay
You
Lohan.
change
you
the
think
water
all
every night.
Marines are
Yeah.
honest?
You have to change the water every night. You just got a little thing. How does
Uh-huh.
a gecko get into your?
I don't know. Would you like me to schedule an interview
No,
with him
no,
for
no,
next
I'm good.
Friday? We
Yes.
could have this
Yeah, it's
conversation.
kinda
He will
gross.
tell us.
I need to know.
For this,
Mike
we
goes
probably
to
have
mass
a,
every week too.
we have a
he tells the
lot of
truth.
listeners with CPAP machines.
We do.
But
I'm
I think
sure
this
that's
is a
right.
relevant conversation.
My buddy here, he tells me every day I see him. He goes, "Well, my machine gave me a smiley face today.
I
Kelly,
got one this morning.
and I didn't
Wow.
know how I'm supposed to react to that.
That's
like,
good.
Congratulations.
You'd be happy for him because he got a good night's sleep.
Yeah, and not interruptions out there.
But I'm not reporting to you on my bodily functions or activities.
Well, you
in
don't
the
have it.
evening.
You don't have something to tell you if you got a smiley face in your sleep.
But what if I wore one of those little wrists?
Well, then
things?
you
Should
could-
I
then
tell
you
you
could-
that, hey, my blood pressure was fabulous last night
Yeah.
while we were sleeping?
Yeah, yeah.
While we
While I
were
was-
sleeping, you
while
guys
I
are
was sleeping.
I do
No.
picture you guys living together.
No.
I do imagine you guys
The
like
Odd
a
couple.
Yeah.
like a 50s
That wouldn't-
sitcom, separate beds.
I don't think that would end well. If we actually lived
It wouldn't be too. Listen, just in general, not just you, but as a single man, I think if I had my own bedroom, and then I had a place like where in the evenings John and I would eat, on TV dinner trays and watch sports, and then
Adorable.
I'd go
Yeah.
back to bed. I could do that.
We could pull that.
That
off. Yeah.
would be a lovely life. But I'd want my own space
Yeah,
stuff, my own bathroom.
Yeah, of course.
Because like we would want to have it.
Right.
But I could do it.
What if you
I
moved
could,
in
I
with?
could probably marry somebody like that.
What if you moved in with John and Georgianne?
Well, I would have to fight a couple others who want to move in with or would like to move in.
Yeah,
but
we got a house full.
Yeah, but I would love to live it. Do you know how big I would be if Georgianne was cooking food for me every night?
Man, she can cook.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because that Greek stuff, I can't say it, but I can eat it.
Oh yeah,
she puts it out and
good stuff.
I wolf it down.
Well,
have you guys heard of the thing called a sleep divorce?
Yes.
Yes.
Where people are married and they sleep in separate
rooms.
bedrooms.
Yeah.
But it's not like a bad thing.
No.
It apparently is really good for the marriage. That there are psychologists who believe it's actually a really great idea for people to sleep in separate
You
rooms.
think those psychologists definitely are doing sleep divorce?
Maybe.
No, this is great for the marriage.
I would think
Well,
so.
I could absolutely see why.
Yeah, well, I mean, just think about times you wake up and there's somebody maybe laying next to you and they're on their phone. Now that light is in your eyes, and then you're distracting those other people. If you could have a situation, that would be the ideal. Why don't we embrace this as a society?
So you wake up and just somebody's next to you on their phone.
Well, no, not somebody. You know what I'm talking about.
Your
though.
lifelong companion.
Or what happens if your husband needs a CPAP machine? So now you got Darth Vader laying
Well,
next to you
that's
every
mhm.
night.
So the problem with the CPAP is that before I had it, apparently I was pretty loud. And that's stressful.
Yeah,
Snoring is bad.
And then
Snoring's
now
bad.
that you've got it,
Mm-hmm.
as long as it's in, it's fine. But once it slides off of the old nose there, then all the
It does look like you're sleeping next to like a TIE fighter from Star Wars. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's all strapped on your face.
Stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
And you can't roll over on your side, can you?
Oh, yeah, Did Georgianne yeah, send
You
this
can.
in?
Can you lay on your stomach if you wanted to?
I can't sleep on my
Have you seen the advertisement for the one they like implant in your nose
No.
and you just turn it on wirelessly and turn it off?
That's
no. They really do this. They are now implanting them
Alright.
in bodies.
Okay.
Where
What
you
if
don't
it-
need a CPAP machine. It's a little
Yeah, a device.
some type of device, and then these people
What if
turn them on.
when that device is low on battery, it beeps like your fire alarm?
That'd make for a bad evening, I'll tell you that.
I think your
I
nose
do
is
wonder how the
beeping.
battery works. Because you guys know this is true. I'm not making this up. They can get.
I don't know
wonder
anything
how
anymore.
They do charge that.
Hey, what's your opinion? I asked you about getting on a plane and turning left because I said I've never gotten on a plane and turned left before, and you said, "Well, I have an opinion on this."
Oh, for
What?
you. Okay,
talking
so
about,
when
First
Amy
class.
says
First
to travel and turn left on the big planes, when you get in, you almost get in the middle, and if you go to the left, that would be the
The first class, which is why
first
we call it
class
turning
or,
left.
or
Yeah.
business class, which is
Yeah.
where I would go because I need the extra leg room. If I were going overseas,
Mhm.
you've never done it. I don't know why you hadn't done it because
Why? It's like
I don't know why you would.
$7,000.
I don't know. I'm with you on that. I don't know why you'd ever do it because you're so small that these little chairs, like a regular Southwest flight, you're not uncomfortable.
I see. That's why
The
I
three
am.
other mammals in this room with you, we're stuffed in there. Four other mammals. You know,
like
we're
sardines.
stuffed in there.
You guys are tall gentlemen.
You agree?
Yes.
No, but it's not just that.
But
We're
I rode
normal-sized people, but those plane seats are made so I think
when we went
it
to
would be wasted on you.
when we went to England, I flew in the steerage.
Yeah,
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did
No.
Georgianne fly first class?
No.
Oh.
No, she
Did
was
you
right
try
there.
to get the? I try to get the exit row. They try to get you for an extra $50 or something, but it gives you a little
We
more
had
leg
some
room.
kind of something.
Yeah.
See, I can't do the exit row because I do carry on, and you can't stick anything under the seat in front of you.
Oh.
If you do the exit row, you lose your
Really?
under the seat storage.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Thank you for
I mean,
sharing.
you still have overhead storage, but
Thank you.
I just think it would be interesting.
That was,
I
like,
would
really
think
genuine.
You,
It
no,
really
but
was.
I think you would be, good at throwing the door out
well, throwing the
because that's the whole
No,
reason
see,
you're
that's
in the
I
emergency
know,
exit
and
is
that's
to
another
throw the
thing.
door
It's like,
out.
are you able or willing? I'd be like, I am willing. I just don't think I'm able
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not good with common sense mechanical stuff. And one time we had Charlie Brennan and I, we were learning how to use a defibrillator. So they brought mannequins in for us, torsos, and they're like, all right, he's had a heart attack, go. And
Well, I'll tell you the first problem. The mannequin doesn't have a heart.
Well, there's that. But I'm
No
trying
wonder
to
it
open
didn't
because
work.
you know the defibrillator stickers, and
Yeah.
like you have to like peel them open and
Right.
stick them on the guy. And I'm like, I can't get the sticker open. And the EMT's like, okay, get it open. You're running out of time. He's like, okay, well your guy died. Honestly, we've never had anyone get stuck on this part before. That's
what they said to you?
Yes. No one's ever gotten stuck on that.
Were
I'm
you-
like,
Have you
Were you
taken
tempted to
have you
take the
taken this
paddles to
class,
Charlie?
Ron?
what?
I have not taken this class.
Ron needs to take this class because there's a relatively strong likelihood that I'm going to.
And I'm the closest.
Yeah, well, if Amy's going to let me die.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Stickers. Have you ever gotten stuck on a plastic grocery bag in the produce section where you
Like a
can't
fly
open
trap?
it?
They are not that hard to get off.
Where you not get off, but like when you try to open them.
Right. What I'm saying is like the stickers for the defibrillator cannot be that difficult.
Well, I couldn't. I was like this, like
How are they stickers? I thought they were paddles. You know, you just walk up to somebody,
no,
boom.
you don't
you know.
have the paddles when it's a box, but the box talks to you. Did you know that? When you open the box, it like goes.
It tells you
beep.
what to do?
Yes, and it says open the stickers, and I was like, it's like put the stickers on the person, and it tells you the whole process.
Wow.
The defibrillator box. There's a little robot who talks to you.
Why were you doing this?
I was learning how to save Charlie's life.
If something went wrong.
Did it ever?
Is
did
there
you
a
ever have to use it?
defibrillator in this building?
Is there where is the defibrillator?
Yeah, is there one in this building?
There is.
Because as someone
they
who's
moved
trained,
it.
you should know.
Yes, well, they moved it because where it used to be, there's a sign that said the defibrillator is, on the 4th floor now.
Yeah.
Well, that's no good.
I don't know what to do, brother. You're in trouble if you have one of those medical emergencies around me.
Yeah.
I'll call 911.
You know
I'll
what?
sit with you.
Don't worry about it.
I'll sit with you.
I'll be fine.
And I'll tell him, do you know who he is?
Although I did just get my calcium checked in my ventricles.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, good.
Good.
What does that mean?
Do you want calcium or you don't
There's no
want
buildup
calcium?
in his.
Right. I mean, I
Or
got a
the
little
plaque.
teeny, but the doctor says no need to worry about
I thought it was plaque.
Nice.
In
Well,
your
that-
ventricles.
that is
Calcium,
plaque.
it. It is
Oh.
plaque.
right.
Yep.
Well, it's interesting they call it calcium, right? Because
That's-
I associate calcium with milk.
With bone strength.
Well, yeah, but it's like a
Right.
like
I
a
get it. It comes from other places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe less ice cream would be less calcium for me.
Yeah.
Doesn't
You want
equate that way?
calcium. You
You
want
do?
bone strength.
Huh.
You just don't want it stuck in your ventricles.
Right. Yeah. You don't want your ventricles all full of calcium, buddy. That's a recipe for trouble right there.
Texter says the last time I was visited by a gecko in my sleep, I saved 15% of my car insurance. Hancock and Kelly with Chris and Amy on a Friday morning, a gorgeous, beautiful, lovely, wonderful Friday morning. We are so glad you're with us on 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
It's Tom Ackerman for Innsbruck. Just the beautiful homes at Innsbruck. The new Sonnenhaus houses are available this year. The newest style of living, combining the modern exterior of a treehouse with cozy interior elements of a cottage into one convenient and comfortable residence that can transition from a vacation home to a permanent residence. And it's so close to St. Louis, just a half hour from Chesterfield, an hour from downtown. Innsbruck-resort.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878, 800-384-7878.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today.
We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA, so we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't hate, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune in to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board certified master arborist with Timberline Professional Tree Care. In my nearly 30 years in the industry, I've seen firsthand what damage falling trees can do to your property. The sad thing is that most trees that fail have defects that can be identified by a well-trained certified arborist. At Timberline, we have 7 ISA certified arborists, 3 of which have gone through extensive training and testing to become tree risk assessment qualified. Our track certified arborists can perform a thorough assessment of your tree and provide mitigation options for your peace of mind. If there's nothing wrong with your tree, we will let you know that it poses a low risk of failure. If it needs to be removed, we'll tell you in a detailed written report. It's all about honesty and integrity here at Timberline Professional Tree Care. So call us today to get a tree risk assessment scheduled, 636-479-7475, or contact us through our website at stltreecare.com.
Chris Ranchi, Amy Mark scores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend.
Chris and Amy show on 104.1 FM KMOX. We've got John Hancock and Michael Kelly in with us for the last few moments of this hour.
Here we are.
We will soldier on, the two of us. We're going to keep the show going after you guys leave, if that's all right with you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I just saw this the other day, and I forgot how I became aware of it. But apparently there are a couple of Twitter accounts on both about J.B. Pritzker.
Okay.
That I guess they want him to be president. There are a bunch of funny memes and whatever. The thing that stuck out to me was there used to be a website, which is now gone.
Mhm.
And the website was called coconutbigboy.com. And it was about J.B. Pritzker.
I can't believe
and it was
I found that this morning and it's pulled up on my computer.
Coconut Big Boy?
Yes, and all the memes.
I've been wanting to talk about Coconut Big Boy for about 48 hours since I found out about it.
Wow.
So it is apparently it's a very pro J.B. Pritzker. Both of these accounts are. One's socialist for Pritzker and one is nomads for Pritzker or something to that effect. Do you think he has a real opportunity to become president? Because it does seem like he has been and is really starting to ramp up, his angling for it.
I never thought Donald Trump could be president, not once, but twice. So I think anything's possible, especially if you're a billionaire. I mean, J.B. Pritzker has an ability to be able to finance his campaign completely on his own. He comes from one of the, 3 or 4 most important states in the country in terms of its economic impact on the country and its social and cultural impact. So I definitely think he's a part of the conversation. He's clearly staking out the left-hand lane of this Democratic Party. I personally don't see that being the one that's going to prevail against whatever's coming next, but could be wrong.
Well, we're going to find out on a national level what the true makeup of the Democratic Party is, because remember, the Biden was kind of forced on everybody, and when it became a choice between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. The deck got stacked to get Biden nominated, and then Kamala was just handed the nomination. So we've not really had a competitive Democratic primary since Obama versus Hillary, because Hillary, she kind of walked right in too. So I think we're going to find out what the Democratic electorate is. If they nominate a progressive, I think they're going to have a hard time winning the White House. I don't think Pritzker can win the White House, but he could be the Democratic nominee.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because we've been talking about anti-elitism and this semi-Trumpian strain of populism, which again, Trump is the only fixed point in his universe. So he's not a true populist,
right?
Because he's the fixed point. So what he can say, he can sometimes say things that sound populist and other times say things that sound incredibly elitist. But he is this very wealthy man who has Elon Musk as a billionaire as part of his coterie. But J.B. Pritzker, like Socialist for Pritzker, is also kind of a funny idea because he's a billionaire. Like, are we just picking our elites now? Is that what we do?
Maybe. We're going to find out. I think in presidential politics, the money's always important in politics, but I think money is comparatively less important in a presidential contest than it is in, say, a U.S. Senate race or a congressional race.
Would Pritzker be the first billionaire?
Well, Trump's a billionaire.
Trump's a
Is Trump a
billionaire.
billionaire?
Well, he says he is.
I wasn't sure where the number fell on that.
Yeah.
John and I were talking
Well,
about
if he
this
wasn't, he is now.
last time and where the Democratic Party goes. And this feels very similar to me to the time when the Tea Party started to bubble up for the Republican Party with Barack Obama. I think that's where the Democratic Party is. It's trying to figure out who's the face of the opposition, what's the messaging going to be, and who's the face of that opposition going to be. And I think we're in this like soupy gelatin time where we don't have a solid stance yet, and it will evolve as time goes on, and JB may continue to rise, but I don't see why JB is more attractive than the real deal when it comes to that left of center policy and Bernie Sanders and AOC, who seem to already have a grip on that wing of my party.
How quickly would it have to happen that somebody solidifies themselves as the true leader of that party to have enough runway to win an election?
Oh, they've got time.
Yeah, we've got to get through the midterms and watch Donald Trump lose.
You're going to want to keep an eye on Governor Shapiro of Pennsylvania, Governor Beshear of Kentucky. Those are people who I think would be a lot more difficult for a Republican to defeat.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly, I heard you're going to go play some snooker, and then you got TV or something today, right?
Yep. We got to do it all today. We're going to snooker it up. We're going to hang out, and we're going to spend some time together.
And then you're going to get twin beds.
Yep.
And buy a new condo together.
Bunk beds.
Divorce.
You can get bunk.
What bed divorce, or what did you call it earlier?
Yeah.
Sleep divorce.
Sleep divorce.
You
Yeah.
get bunk beds, though, you'll have room for activities.
Huh?
Step Brothers?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I've only seen it once.
Okay.
Can you imagine
I don't
John
remember.
trying to climb up into the top of a bunk bed?
I slept on the top of a bunk bed in college.
In college?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
John Hancock, Michael Kelly. You guys are the best.
See ya.
See ya. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Scott Jagow is going to come back and tell us why he told us about the wrong horse. He picked the wrong horse for us, and I lost everything in the Kentucky Derby. Scott Jagow's next.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this important announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-384-7878. 800-384-7878. 800-384-7878.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-3300. 800-885-3300. 800-885-3300.
It is 10 o'clock and we've got tons of sunshine right now. It is 60 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, and last hour we went to Stuart McMillan to talk about a SWAT situation, and the police chief has just addressed him. What's the latest you can tell us, Stuart?
Yeah, Debbie, there was a officer-involved shooting here at the scene of 5100 block of Wells Drive. 2 officers were shot at. One of them being an ATF agent, another one a St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department officer. Both were not injured in this shooting. The suspect is dead, and police officers, as they enter the home, SWAT did, they found 2 bodies inside the home, possibly from a murder that happened, a murder scene from 4 o'clock this morning. So this has been a very active scene since the 4 o'clock hour. Again, 2 bodies found inside. 2 officers were shot at, and they were not hurt. The suspect is dead. Chief Tracy said that he came out of the house holding a rifle and just started opening fire here on Wells Drive. And again, the officer is not hurt, and the suspect has been killed in the shooting. We'll have more later on KMOX. Latest from the scene, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
All right. Thanks, Stuart. We are learning more about St. Louis ties to the newly elected Pope, Robert Prevost, who has chosen to go by Leo XIV. The St. Louis Archdiocese confirming he served at Immaculate Conception, St. Henry's Parish in South St. Louis, that's on Lafayette, in the 1970s. That church has since closed and is now privately owned. Retired Supreme Court Justice David Souter has died at the age of 85. The New Hampshire Republican retired from the court in June 2009, giving President Obama his first Supreme Court vacancy to fill.
He came to the bench with no particular ideology. He never sought to promote a political agenda. And he consistently defied labels and rejected absolutes, focusing instead on just one task, reaching a just result in the case that was before him.
While appointed by a Republican, Souter became a darling of liberals. The court says Souter died Thursday at his home in New Hampshire. Walk or run in Tower Grove Park with your dog and raise money for the Humane Society's 30th annual Bark in the Park. Shayna Cook says they'll have all kinds of activities, including a good citizenship test from the American Kennel Club.
It's a 10-step little test to evaluate if your dog can follow basic commands. Good citizen dog, canine good citizen, are the dogs that sort of go and sit with children, maybe go to a library and join the kids while they're reading, go to nursing homes. They're just really well-mannered dogs.
Bark in the Park is May 18th at Tower Grove Park.
Plenty of sunshine and pleasant this afternoon, high 72. Patchy clouds tonight, though 47. Mostly sunny tomorrow, high 76. And for Sunday, Mother's Day, more sun than clouds and warm, the high 78. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is sunny and 60 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis at 10:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of the new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER. Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Amy, do you remember when Scott Jagow was in here last Friday and told us to pick the wrong horse?
Oh, the horse editor?
The horse editor.
The horse editor that
Gave us the wrong winner.
This is the problem with being the horse editor or the horse guy.
Yeah.
Is that if you look at my phone messages, texted before the Derby was run, people asked me, who do you think is going to win the Derby? I said Sovereignty over and over and over. Unfortunately, the day before on this program, I said, the horse I like as a long shot as publisher. I didn't get into Sovereignty, but this is the problem with it because people, if you don't give out the horse or if you change your mind in the last 24 hours, and I decided to bet Sovereignty, which I did. I made the biggest Derby bet I've ever made on Sovereignty.
Really?
Yes.
So did you lose your mind when he won?
Well, actually, I was pretty good. I mean, I stood up and made some motions.
You know what? I think he
I'm happy for you.
I think he told us the wrong horse on purpose
Yeah.
because he didn't want a bunch of people
That's
listening to the Chris and
exactly it.
Amy show, going out and placing bets and then changing the odds.
That's how the game is played.
I am.
It's me versus you.
Very happy.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I try. I really do. But every year this happens. People get mad at me because I gave them a different horse and then I changed my mind or I forgot to talk about this one, whatever. Anyway, I'm happy with the result.
Yeah,
and,
I'm sure you are. Yeah,
I
I'm
apologize.
Happy.
Apologize for focusing too much on the crazy long shot publisher. I still bet him too.
Look, I'm very happy for you.
I didn't win anything. I lost $5
because of you.
Yeah,
my kid can't get that surgery.
Yeah, and it was
sorry.
It was
sorry.
It was
I feel
must
really
win
bad.
surgery.
It was a must.
It was must win surgery.
Well, speaking of
I got a
sovereignty-
question for you.
Yeah.
Hold on. We have a question for you that came up last week
Okay.
or no, earlier this week, right?
I think it was like 3 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 days ago. And it was on the tip of my tongue when we were doing the Kentucky Derby segment last week because I was wondering, do the horses know that they're in a race? Do they even know they're competing? Do they know what a competition is? Okay.
Well, we tell them what we did our own research.
And so then I was thinking that I don't think we got to the question. And then this article came up, and the article was, do horses know they are racing? And the answer is likely no.
I disagree with that 100%.
How do they know, though?
I have seen thousands and thousands of races, and I know how they're trained. Horses are trained, thoroughbreds are trained to race against each other. And maybe not in every case, but a lot of times, and you can see specific horses especially. I remember there was one of my favorite horses of all time, Zenyatta. She won her first 19 races
She's
in a
in
row.
all the Marvel
She's
movies.
pretty well, she's named after Zenyatta Mondatta, the Police album from like 1980, because Jerry Moss, the producer of that record, was the owner of Zenyatta.
Okay.
Fun fact. But Zenyatta won 19 races in a row and then lost her last race by this much, just a tiny, tiny bit. And it was incredible. It was at the Breeders' Cup Classic, one of the biggest races of the year. Point being, every time she ran, she would come from way behind. And a lot of times she would win by the smallest of margins because she knew where the finish line was. There's no arguing. 19 times she found the finish line. So I do believe thoroughbred racehorses know what they're up to.
What if they're just racing because they're trained to be in a certain position within a group. So they think they're getting into formation. They don't know they're trying to win.
Yeah, I believe that to be true also, but I don't think it's mutually exclusive. I think some racehorses just know what they're up to, and they know where the finish line is, and that's their goal.
So
it doesn't mean they're sitting in their brain going, "Oh, I'm in a horse race," you know.
Well, I think that was the
That's
point.
the question.
But that's ridiculous.
But when they cross the finish line, do they go,
whatever that word is.
Anthropomorphism.
I can't
But do
never
you
say that
think he
word.
crossed the finish line and was like,
Anthropomorphism.
I
Yes, thanks.
won the Kentucky Derby? Or did he just think I got into formation?
Do you think the horse actually says to themselves, I just won the Kentucky Derby?
No, here's what I think is happening.
We're trying to relate it to an animal's psyche.
Here's what I think the horse is thinking. This guy keeps whipping me, so I'm just going to keep running really fast.
Yeah. If the horse
All
knows
right.
they're in a race, you wouldn't have to hit him on the bottom so
Right.
much.
That's exactly right. You wouldn't need the spurs or anything.
They don't wear spurs.
Oh, is it just cowboys?
Do they wear spurs?
They don't wear spurs.
Do cowboys still wear spurs?
You're asking the wrong dude.
No, you're the horse editor. There's literally no one better to ask.
That's a different type of horse.
We were talking about the horse whipping.
That's dum ba dee dum
Yes.
Yeah.
That would probably be like,
That's my song.
Well, those are the horses that'll,
Not the other
that'll get
one.
you across the desert.
Yeah.
You know, from one.
but there's not as much need for the dum-da-dee-dum horses like getting you
Now that's
across.
what they're called.
It's dum-da-dee-dum horses. Scott.
Yes.
A horse's skin is pretty thick, right? Thick with the hair and all that stuff. So when they're getting whipped, it doesn't hurt that bad, right?
Again, this is a question for the horse. I don't know, but
I'm not going to speculate
the
and try
riding
to
crops-
assume the horse's motivation.
the riding crops are generally they're padded, and you ask any trainer and they're going to say, oh, it doesn't hurt that much or any jockey, but it looks bad though. That's why they've changed the rules about how many times you can use it and all this other stuff, and they've softened them. So I mean, people are aware of that issue, and it's definitely more image than its actual reality. It looks bad, and I don't
Yeah.
like it. I don't like it.
That's
It
my
does.
mom's least favorite part. She doesn't like watching it because of that. She
Yeah,
doesn't like to see
I
that
understand.
part.
I totally understand. That's why they've changed the rules. You can only use it a certain number of times. It still doesn't look good. But it's hard, it's difficult to not use it because horses
Why?
are used to it. I mean, I guess if you just go generation, you stop using it, one of these days, it wouldn't matter. But they're trained to do this stuff. So that's all I can tell you.
Okay.
Anyway,
Well-
sovereignty will not be in the Preakness.
Yeah, why?
Which is kind of a bummer. These days, again, sticking to the animal welfare issue, it's all about the horse, and 2 weeks is a short turnaround time. It used to be tradition. The Preakness is 2 weeks. The Belmont is 3 weeks later. It's 5 weeks, Triple Crown. It's very hard to do. And for decades, sometimes from 1978 to 2015, nobody did it. And people would say, well, it's hard. It's hard because of the spacing. Now, everyone is so conscious of the animal welfare issue that they're just going to do right by the horse, and Triple Crown be damned. That's just the way it is. And I think they need to change the spacing of the races so that it's once every month. That would be more appropriate.
Let me get to a caller. Sue in Kirkwood is on with us. Hello, Sue.
Hi, I just wanted to throw a note in there. I run dogs in competition, and I have friends who run horses in races, and there's no doubt in my mind, you can tell every single time if you pull up to an event with a horse in a trailer or a dog in a trailer and there's an event going on, they get so excited. It's crazy because you train for this, but they know the difference between the sounds, the scents, the people, the voices, the equipment that you bring, and level of excitement. And they're tuned into that. They get out of those trailers, and believe me, they are ready to go.
Sue, how do you get jockeys small enough for the dogs?
Monkeys!
Monkeys.
Oh, good Lord. We're opening a whole can of worms now.
That's
Thanks,
fair
Sue.
because I will say,
Yeah, that's a great point.
My
Thank you.
parents' dog Francis, you have to spell dog park. And when you get out a certain
Oh, yeah,
leash,
yeah.
like he knows we're going to the dog park. We're going to see my friends. His friend is
Yeah.
Yachty.
Well,
They
it's
know that, and they know when they're going to the vet.
But it's back to Zenyatta, when she would be in the post parade before the race, the paddock, she did a specific dance because she knew she was getting ready to perform, and she would pose for pictures too. That was the other funny thing. I saw her in person several times. She would pose for pictures, and she would do a dance that she only did when she was racing.
Wow.
I think we're projecting.
No,
Do you think dressage horses are like, I am killing it? Fancy, fancy, fancy. Have you seen the dressage horses?
No. Oh, yes, I have seen those.
About this.
Those are
like when
Scott,
Snoop said they're crip walking?
Apparently, it's Mother's Day Sunday.
Oh.
You want to tell us?
It is. And I want to say happy Mother's Day to my mother. So happy Mother's Day, Mom.
But you have something interesting.
I always have something interesting.
About Mother's Day specifically.
So the so-called mother of Mother's Day is a woman named Anna Jarvis. She was a copywriter from West Virginia, born during the Civil War. And she watched as her mother worked to organize work clubs to care for soldiers on both sides of the war, mothers, that is. And she began organizing a Mother's Day in about 1907. But here's the funny thing. Later, she spent her life fighting against Mother's Day. And here's why. I want to read a quote. She got upset about the commercialism and popularization of the holiday. And she has a quote in the Washington Post. What will you do to rout charlatans, bandits, pirates, racketeers, kidnappers, and other termites that would undermine with their greed one of the finest, noblest, and truest movements and celebrations? That was her quote about people destroying Mother's Day.
Wow.
Happy Mother's. Was it on Truth Social?
To all the haters and losers, happy Mother's Day.
I think that's precious.
Scott Jagow, Three Good Things, Roaming St. Louis, all that good stuff Sunday.
Sunday morning, 6:30 to 9:30. Tune in, please.
That's Scott Jagow. Listen to KMOX all weekend long, especially Sunday morning. Coming up next, the Battlehawks have a game coming up on Sunday, and we are going to talk to Battlehawks tight end Chase Allen. That's next on 104.1 FM.
When you retire, the paycheck from your job will likely stop. But here's what won't stop: bills, taxes, and medical issues. Sure, there's Social Security, but that may not be enough. Steve All and his team at the All Financial Group can show you potential ways to develop a new stream of income that can last as long as you live. Kind of like having your own personal pension. You won't have to worry about whether the market is up or down or who's sitting in the White House. You can spend your time instead on the things that matter, like family, friends, and doing the things you never had time to do before. Call Steve All today at 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824, and schedule a custom income review at no charge, or find us online at yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't pay,
Don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-million. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
1120 AM, 1041 FM, and streaming on the Odyssey app. KMOX is with you, however you listen, wherever you listen.
Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji on 1041 FM KMOX, and the Battlehawks with a game against Memphis, the Showboats. That'll be on Sunday. It is a 2:00 game coming up here. This after the Battlehawks beat Arlington. That was last week. And now we are joined by Battlehawks tight end Chase Allen, who joins us on KMOX. How's it going, Chase?
It's going great, Chris. How are you guys?
We're doing okay. We're excited to have you, being a Missouri native. You grew up in Springfield, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Right outside of Springfield, Nixa. My dad was the head coach at Missouri State for a number of years down there, so we absolutely love Southwest Missouri, and I'm proud to represent the home state.
That's awesome. And also, our listeners must know, I was so excited. I was like, Nixa, that's where Jason Bourne is from.
I'm so glad you brought that up. Oh my gosh. Not enough people know that Jason Bourne is from Nixa.
Yes,
that's right.
David Webb, when they, spoiler alert, when in the Bourne Supremacy, he finds out it says David Webb, Nixa, Missouri, and it's like the greatest thing ever. Do you have any, is there any plaque in Nixa that says David Webb on it?
I hope there is. If there's not, that's a crime. But I heard a story about how that came to be. You know, Brad Pitt is a Springfield legend.
Yep.
And apparently he was the one that put the bug in the air about Nixa. They're like, hey, we need a small town. And Brad Pitt was like, I got just a town.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Do you know Chapel Roan?
That's so cool.
So I don't know, but she was my age group. I think I was in high school at the same time as her, and one of my classmates posted like a cross country picture, and side by side was in stride with Chapel Roan. I was like, well, what do you know? Look at that.
That is awesome. And I know exactly. I mean, if it's the cross country picture that was kind of circulating on social media.
Oh, that's the one.
That's the one.
Yes,
I saw it.
one.
Yes, because I'm into running. So it was going around all the running circles of like, look here's Chapel Roan. So your friend is in that picture with her.
Yeah, she was in the Central Ozarks Conference cross country meet.
Oh my gosh. This is almost as interesting as the football.
I know. This is turning into a Chris Farley interview. We're like, remember that time? Remember when Jason Bourne was from Nixa?
So Chase Allen, Missouri native, now with the Battlehawks, joins us. And you got drafted by the Bears, right?
I went undrafted to the Bears.
Oh, no, that's right. You a practice squad. Right. You were on the practice squad with them.
Was on the practice squad, got to play in a game on Christmas Eve. It was a good time. You were a Chicago guy, is that correct?
That's right. Yes, I am a Bears fan.
He is a long-suffering Bears fan.
Hey, this is the year, man.
Okay.
Stars are aligning. I'm sure you've probably heard that before.
Because of the Pope?
Every year. Is it because the Pope might?
He's
he
from
might
Chicago.
Can't hurt to have God on your side. Can't hurt.
Listen, well, I feel like maybe I hope you're right. I hope you're right. I hope it is the year for them. But I feel like maybe you got out at the right time. You know, like I'm just not very confident. You didn't get that bear steak on you.
I really enjoyed my time there. I had some great teammates, and I truly do hope the best for the franchise because it's a very historic franchise, and hope them all the best.
It is a great fan base, and what we have found out in the last few years is the Battlehawks fan base. It's not the NFL, but man, and I know that you've been with them now for a while, so you've been to the other buildings, you've been to the other stadiums. How much different is it to play at the Battle Dome opposed to playing somewhere else?
It is night and day. I mean, the passion that our fan base brings is just it's next level. You really don't see it anywhere else in this entire league. And it's something that we love as players, right? Like, fills our tank. Energy is top notch. But then the other guys on the other team, I'll be lined up against them and they'll be like, man, this place is awesome. It gets so loud in here. So just hearing that,
cool.
like, during the game, you know, it's so appreciated for our players and everywhere else. So we have so much fun. If you guys haven't been able to experience a Battlehawks game yet, please try to make it out, because it's just a great experience there. And I know St. Louis loves their football, and we're bringing it to them.
Oh yeah, I mean it's you see the support that St. Louis has for the Battlehawks and the Dome, and you play in the Dome, but obviously so did Kurt Warner. And I heard you've got ties to Kurt Warner.
That is correct. Yes. My dad actually coached Kurt Warner in college at Northern Iowa.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he's a those two keep in touch. And when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, my dad got to go. And story that happened, I was very young, and I was choking on something. We were at like a pool. Of course, I don't remember this, but Kurt Warner was actually the one that I think gave me the Heimlich and saved me then.
Oh my gosh.
No kidding.
I know. Crazy, right?
That's pretty impressive.
Kurt Warner saved your life.
Saved my life.
He saved St. Louis football, and he saved your life.
That is right. That is right.
So you grew up, obviously, your dad coaching at Northern Iowa, coaching at Missouri State, being the son of a coach, and then going on to have your own football career in college and then professional football. When did you know that you wanted to do that, and how much of that was because of your dad?
I'd say my dad was such an asset for me in my athletic career, not just football, just growing up. And he was excellent. He just, taught me the right way how to be a competitor. And with football, that was kind of, I wasn't too sure until like the end of high school. I played high level basketball. I thought that maybe I might try to do that in college, but then football ended up being a thing like, I probably have the highest ceiling here, but, with things like recruiting and, trusting the right coaches, it's a hard world to navigate for a lot of high school kids. But like I said, such an asset of my father. He was able to help me pick through the weeds, and ended up having a great career at Iowa State with Coach Matt Campbell. And it's been awesome. I can continue to talk to him about the game plan and whatnot. And it's just been really special.
Well, obviously, St. Louis loves the Battlehawks, and they also love people who get St. Louis and get Missouri. You grew up here in Missouri. We were just talking about your ties to Kurt Warner. You also grew up playing high school basketball against Jason Tatum, right?
Yes, that is correct. I played for the Kansas City team, the AAU team. We were MoKan. We had Trey Young and Michael Porter Jr. on our team, and our rivals were the St. Louis Eagles with Jason Tatum. So, yeah, got to play against that guy, and holy smokes, what a talent he is.
Was it one of those where you knew you're playing against him and you just knew he was another level?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell from that age it was different, and I wasn't the one guarding him. Thank God. But there was one play I got switched off on him, and he started yelling to his other player, mismatch, mismatch, mismatch. And then he was trying to get the ball, and they passed the ball to him, and I tipped it out of bounds. And I was like, yeah. So then I got switched back on my guy. I was like, yeah, right, mismatch.
That's like the worst, most condescending trash talk ever. Like he's not even.
Like, thank God he didn't get the ball.
It's just a fact. Mismatch, mismatch.
Yeah. Oh no, he knows.
I'm sorry, Chase. I'm sorry that happened. That's
that's awesome.
You know what? That's just rude.
Oh no, it all works out. It all works out.
But your team did win a state title, right?
We did not. We came up short in football. We played in the Dome actually, and in football we ended up losing there. So I think his team may have won the state title in basketball.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. I don't know how much if you're a trash talker on the field or not, but I think you should pull out mismatch because that's brutal.
Yeah. It translates better to basketball, but I'll see if I can pull it off this Sunday.
If you ever see him again, I want you to remind him he did that to you. and then make him feel bad.
He's probably done it to hundreds of others, so I doubt he'd feel that bad. I mean, the guy's a walking mismatch.
That's a great
I know.
point. Wow.
They love him in Boston. We know that. So the game Sunday, 2:00, Memphis Showboats. You will be on the road in Tennessee. Chase Allen, we're really glad to have you on today. So thanks for giving us a few minutes, and good luck on Sunday.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chris and Amy, and I wish you guys all the best and have a great weekend. Hopefully tune in for the game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Chase Allen, Battlehawks tight end with us. They just beat Arlington. Now they're going to be on the road. They've got the Showboats. You know the thing about the Showboats?
What about them?
They're always bragging.
Yeah.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. We continue the sports after this because City SC has a game. They just played a game, and now they got to play again on Saturday.
They're fine.
That's tomorrow. They're not fine. This is not enough time to rest.
This is like the Preakness. You can't do the Derby and the Preakness.
City SC against San Diego tomorrow, and we've got Dale Schilly, the Academy Director and broadcaster on Y98. He is with us next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Currently, it is beautiful, sunny and 62 degrees, a high of 73 today. The weekend's going to be gorgeous. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 77. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 80. Weather sponsored by Sachs Financial.
Hey, it's Jeff at Sachs Financial. Over the last 15 years, we've been able to help our clients focus on the fundamentals and tune out the daily grind by putting a great retirement plan in place. If you don't have one, find out how to get started at retiresafestl.com.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the 3rd leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
This month, Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight is testicular cancer. Dr. Woodson Smeltzer.
Testis cancer is a disease primarily of men 18 to 45. And so for men in that age segment, we recommend doing just a monthly testicular self-exam. And you can do this in the shower and just basically feel for any abnormal lumps or bumps on the surface of the testicle. And then, of course, if you find something like that, that's when you need to contact your doctor and get further workup.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For
more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
You might know Graybar for cable and connectivity, but there's one more thing you should know us for that can help optimize your project's total value, like our comprehensive electronic solutions for security, AV, wireless, and networking, or our specialized job site services, like material staging and kitting, or maybe our logistics specialists who can help you identify efficiencies and ensure just-in-time delivery. So consider what one more thing you may need to optimize your bottom line and get to know us for that. Yep, Graybar does that.
At Progressive, we're making things even easier. We'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Anderson is the #1 window and door brand for customer service. Find out why Renewal by Anderson has the most 5-star reviews in St. Louis at rbastl.com or call 314-332-1957. rbastl.com.
Tonight, the Cards, the Nationals. Cameron Total Access 450. Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
After 90 minutes of regular play and about 10 total minutes tonight of Enterprise stoppage time, St. Louis City advances by a final score of 2-0 in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. City 2, Union Omaha 0.
City SC with a win on Wednesday against Omaha in the U.S. Open Cup. And now they got a game, an MLS game is happening tomorrow against San Diego FC.
Because that was not an MLS game on
That was
Wednesday.
not an MLS game. This one's going to be. Dale Schilly is City SC's Academy Director and broadcaster on Y98. That was his partner, Joey Zanaboni, on the call. And now we've got Dale with us again on a Friday. What's up, Dale?
Good morning, and don't ask me to explain all the different levels and whatnot. Don't confuse me on who we're playing, if they're MLS or not.
Dale,
You
this
still-
blows
hold on a
my
second.
mind.
You're in it and you don't get it.
Yeah. You're the guy that should get it.
Yeah, so now I
That's
don't feel
right.
bad.
Well, I'll say the other night we played Union Omaha, who would have been in the third tier of U.S. soccer. So not an MLS team in a league called USL 1, which is beneath USL Championship, which is beneath MLS. How about that?
Well, I mean, you know more than I did. I thought Union Omaha was life insurance and financial advice.
And I thought it was a wildlife show.
That's right. You're like, none of this makes sense. But just so people know, because it said, Joey Zanaboni said that City will advance. That clip we just played. But but their next game is not related to Wednesday's game. Their next game is an MLS game, but then Wednesday, May 21st is when they play Minnesota United in the U.S. Open Cup. So they're kind of in two different things at once.
That's right. Two competitions going at once. You got the league play of the MLS games. That would be our game tomorrow versus San Diego, our game on Wednesday the 14th at home against Sporting Kansas City. And then the May 21st game will be against Minnesota, up in Minnesota. That will be an Open Cup match. And now look, not to confuse you guys.
Too late.
But our game on, I believe, the 17th of May will be against Minnesota United up in Minnesota. And that will be a league game. So we'll play them in back-to-back matches, once on the 17th, once on the 21st. The first a league game, the second a cup match.
Wait, what league?
The MLS league.
Oh, MLS, that one.
That would be, it is
That
funny
one.
though, Dale. I mean, when you think about it, it would be like the St. Louis Cardinals, like, well, they face the Brewers tonight and tomorrow night, and then on Wednesday they're playing in the Baseball of America League against the Cubs.
Baseball of America League.
like you're like, wait, what? It's a little confused. It's a little unusual. MLS is for American
For
fans.
sure.
Yeah.
But this is done worldwide. So worldwide, there's league matches, there's cup matches. The league is a prescribed X amount of games over the course of a longer period of time. The cup matches are typically single elimination or group play and elimination. And it's done around the world. It's a little bit different. It's unique to the the soccer world. I don't know of another team sport that has events, concurrent events like this, but keeps it interesting.
And
keeps us on our toes.
It does, but I will note it was the 28th grievance against King George III and the Declaration of Independence, but I must have struck that all these interleague plays. Feels very European. No taxation without representation and no interleague play in the middle of the season.
So now if you were confused before, now how are you feeling?
Let's go back to Mutual of Omaha.
Yes.
Union of Omaha.
Union, see?
Warren Buffett's team.
You ever...
I didn't know that guy played soccer.
Dale, you ever get to the point where you're just like, I don't even know these teams. There's just a ball out there. I'm going to follow the ball and tell you what I'm seeing.
Yeah, let Joey tell me what's going on. That's when I know I'm in trouble.
How is Joey doing? And
Joey was excited the other night. He called a couple of goals. He was very excited and happy we got the result. And both of us are looking forward to the game versus San Diego.
Tell us about San Diego.
Yeah, an expansion team, but right now they're in the top 4 in our conference, having a good year. And we played them out there. They outplayed us in their home opener, I believe. That was their home opener. They outplayed us. We ended with a 0-0 draw. But we'll see. They've had a good start to the year, and now that we've got result the other day, felt good scoring a couple goals, felt good having a good attacking moments. Hopefully, we can carry it over against San Diego.
How are we doing on the injury front, Dale? Because I know City SC had a few guys dealing with some issues.
Yeah, well, Roman Berkey's back in full training. We'll see if he's back in goal yet or not, or if we continue with Ben Loon, who's done well filling in for Roman. We had Alfredo Morales went down with a little bit of an injury the other day, but we're starting to get some of the guys back. The bench is getting a little bit deeper, and so we're starting to see some faces back, and that's important because we were really hurting there for a while, but we're certainly not in the same spot we were 2 weeks ago.
With the new coach who's now had some time, quite a bit of time to settle in, and we know what the style of play was like under Bradley Carnell, and it's a little bit different now, but do you get the sense that, everybody else has settled in around him?
I would say that we're starting to see that we're defending a little bit higher up the field. Olaf is getting more comfortable with the league as he's starting to bring in and play more attacking oriented players. So the game's happening more in the front half of the field. The team is still, has a defensive shell about them where we're limiting chances for the other team, but we're starting to see us get forward a little bit more, create a few more opportunities, a few more chances. We've seen that we've scored some goals here over the last 3 or 4 matches. So I would say we're starting to settle in with an identity where guys are starting to recognize exactly what Olaf is looking for, and he's starting to realize what some of the potentials are of the players.
Speaking of potential for players, Joey Zielinski scored a goal in his first pro match. Is he in the lineup now for good for the rest of the season?
Well, you would think that every time a guy scores, that means they're automatically in the first 11, but it doesn't normally work that way.
Okay.
We'll have to see, though. I mean, look, he's young legs. Some guys put in a full shift on Wednesday night that have put in a lot of minutes over the course of the year because he's young, because he had a good performance. He could be on the table to be selected for Saturday night. He's young enough that he could go a Wednesday, Saturday, and be able to perform. But yeah, Olaf plays those cards really close. He doesn't let out, what he's thinking in terms of a lineup. He'll give a player an accolade for a good performance, but he's not going to share a lineup until he rolls it out at game time.
Yeah, and just like if City is they're struggling a bit, right? They're trying to get some momentum going, get some more offense. You would think that maybe a young guy who had a good game like that might have a better chance to find a slot in the lineup versus a team that's already a finely tuned machine.
For sure, and especially knowing that some of the guys that have logged in so many minutes are, have to be wearing down a little bit. So I would think Joe's chances are good. If he's not fit enough to do it Wednesday, Saturday, he could be a candidate for Wednesday, since we have Sporting Kansas City next Wednesday. So a lot of guys are going to see some minutes. There'll be some player rotation here over the next 2 weeks because of the number of games the team's playing.
How do players feel about this when they do have a game on a Wednesday and then they're right back at it like 3 days later?
Well, if you ask a player, they would much rather play than train. So they look forward to these times, but you have to watch them, because if you start dealing with soft tissue issues like a hamstring or a calf or a groin or a quad or something like that, then once you start getting with one guy, it usually spreads pretty quickly because everybody's in the same or similar position physically. So sometimes the guys, they want to go. But somebody has to be on the sideline pulling the strings back, making sure guys are healthy, and you can get through a couple of games with guys not getting injured.
Bit of a dumb question. But you talk about training, guys being fit, and that fine balance of making sure your fitness is at peak level, but you're not wearing down. Once you get into the season, is the practice itself plenty of running, the games and all of that for the players? Or are they still having to go out, like what we think, like COIC soccer, high school soccer, going out and run? Are these guys running, or is it no, once they're in the middle of the season?
What they'll do for the guys that are getting major minutes, for the guys that are playing, they'll have a routine over the course of the week where, early in the week, they'll do like regen type stuff just to keep get the blood out of their legs, that sort of thing. Then they'll do like what they'll call a re-entry session where they'll get acclimated with the ball after a day off. And then about midweek, they'll have a fairly hard session to continue to push their fitness levels. And then they'll taper off on Thursday and Friday leading into the Saturday match. So they won't go straight out running. Certainly the guys that are getting minutes, they won't go straight out running, but they'll for sure have a heavy session midweek on most weeks to try to keep their fitness levels going up.
Dale Schilly will have the call of City SC's game against San Diego FC. That is tomorrow. It is an 8:30 start. That seems really late. Is that late?
That seems very late to me, and I will bring all my energy. And it's an MLS game.
All my energy.
I don't know if you need it because you got Joey.
Hey,
right.
He's got a lot of energy. Dale, I will say this, you'll appreciate it. Growing up, my cousin had a friend who was a soccer player, and this must have been like when we were late. It must have been early 20s. And my dad, met him, is like, "So what do you do?" And he's like, "I'm a goalie." He's like, "You're a goalie?" He's like, "For who?" And he's like, "Well, I'm looking for a job." And I always thought being an unemployed goalie feels like a tough gig to be in. Like, imagine, like, that's your skill set. I'm a goalie, but I'm short a job right now.
I can't find a team.
Yeah.
There's only one spot on each team.
But it's their fault.
I know. Anyway, I think you had to get a different job, but I remember my dad. I mean, can you imagine a dad's reaction? "You're a goalie.
Yeah.
Son, you need to find a job."
Jeez. Dale, enjoy the game tomorrow. Have lots of coffee, and we'll be listening in to Y98.
Thank you, guys.
Dale Schilly, City SC Academy Director, and he is the color analyst for I think that's redundant. He is the analyst for SC Soccer on Y98 with the call, Joey Zanaboni. You can listen in tomorrow. 8:30 is the kickoff. Did you see this? Is next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. As a local small business owner for the past 24 years, I always do my best to shop local and support our community. Recently, 2 of the largest tree contractors in the region have sold to out-of-town investment groups. This means that the new owners of these companies are not invested in quality, customer satisfaction, or safety, except for how it affects their bottom line. Timberline Professional Tree Care was founded in 2001 and is focused solely on giving you the customer the safest, highest quality product while providing the best customer service before, during, and after the job. I've poured my heart and soul into tree care for the past 24 years, and we aren't going anywhere. When it comes time to take care of your trees, I ask that you shop local and call me, Ben Barnett, at Timberline Professional Tree Care, 636-479-7475, or online at stltreecare.com.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L, 544-3600.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. An important message about your timeshare from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. Contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about timeshare cancellation.
Call 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040.
Hey guys, it's Dave for Universal Windows Direct, and May is officially the kickoff to home improvement season. Right now, during their home improvement season sale, you'll get an incredible 50% off your windows. Yes, half off. It gets better though. No interest and no payments for 12 months. That's a whole year to enjoy your new windows before you pay a single cent. Plus, you'll receive a free entry door with your window purchase. Call 314-334-2522 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to schedule your free in-home estimate today. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
We can get more sleep, we can get more sun, and we can get more exercise, but the one thing we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies, 314-991-9005 or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial, Inc., an FFC registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918615.
Hey, St. Louis homeowners, are you thinking about upsizing, downsizing, or relocating this year? This is Debbie Monterey, and when life happens and you need to sell your home, I recommend you speak with trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria understands every seller situation is unique, which is why she's created custom programs to fit every home seller's needs. Many people move out of necessity, like for a new job or financial challenges. And that's why Gloria's created her guaranteed multiple cash offer program, giving you up to 6 of the best offers with at least one at 100% of market value, or Gloria will pay you the difference. Plus, you sell faster. Gloria did this for the Miller family in Clayton and got them more money than they were expecting and within their time frame. Gloria did it for them. She can do it for you. Get your offers today by calling Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888 or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. gloriahasthebuyers.com.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
On this show, we like to correct mistakes, and we like to correct them and then tell you who screwed up. So you should know both of those things. A, the game tomorrow is at 7:30.
Which would explain Dale Shilley's surprise.
And he didn't correct me either.
He didn't, but he's like, that does seem late.
I also blame him because he could have said, no, the game's at 7:30, not 8:30.
You confused him.
Well, do you know why I was confused?
Why?
Because Matt Pajeski wrote down the wrong time.
No respect. I don't get no respect at all.
Well,
Yeah,
he's still learning, you know.
he really is.
He's doing his
When do you
best.
graduate, Matt?
Next year.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's got his nice brown shoes on, and he puts on a good front.
So City SC, San Diego FC tomorrow at Energizer Park, 7:30. Not 8:30, you big dummy.
8:30 Eastern time. That's what I said.
Doesn't say Eastern on this.
Oh, well, I should have clarified that.
Yeah. Hey,
Fired.
I don't know if you saw this, Ron. It's actually kind of scary and sad, but this happened on Fox News.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday.
Ideology, or it's not about.
Oh my goodness. We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. So
what you're listening to is an analyst was in studio on Fox News, the cable network, and when she goes, she closes her eyes and passes out, loses consciousness, falls off the chairs, which if anyone's been in a studio, that's not a small fall to just collapse off the chairs. And so the host, oh my goodness, we're going to get some help here. Oh, let's go back to Lydia, his other guest. What she was saying about the president. No, go to break. This guy's inclination was to continue the conversation about the president before people behind the cameras were waving at him. Go to break. You have a woman, an unconscious woman on the floor next to you. And Ron, when I did tell you this story, you pointed out it's not like the viewing audience is going to be able to move on from the woman who just seemingly died on television.
Right. She was okay after the fact.
Okay.
She said she was okay. Didn't really say what happened. Maybe she doesn't know what happened or why she passed out. But yeah, if you're watching that, no matter what the topic is, I know your instinct is maybe we shouldn't be your instinct. But if you're the host, I could see that your instinct might be, well, keep the show going. So let's move on to the next person. But everybody watching is going to be going, what? Oh, no, what happened? Yeah. You can't just move on like I'm going to be able to move on too.
Well, and there's a difference too between like the studios when they got the breaking news, right, about like 9/11 or some tragedy where you need to stay calm. You keep talking about what's happening, but you don't pretend. It's different from like if Gayle King or Savannah Guthrie just like passed out on the couch. You don't go, well, someone's going to take care of Savannah, but let's keep talking about the barbecue themes for Memorial Day. You're not going to get over that.
So you're going to need to be very careful if you have children and they have access to your Amazon account.
Okay.
On Sunday morning, a woman in Lexington, Kentucky was getting ready to leave the house for church when a delivery driver rolled up and dropped off a 25-pound box of lollipops. You know, the dum-dum suckers, the ones you get at the bank?
Oh, yeah.
So dropped off a 25-pound box and then another one and then another. And then soon enough, there were 22 boxes of 50,000 lollipops.
What?
That her son, her child had accidentally placed this massive order on Amazon. So actually the number went up to 70,000.
Oh, 70,000
Had bought
dum-dums?
70,000 dum-dums.
So...
And it cost her $4,200.
Oh, my gosh.
So she was able to return them, but still, this kid accidentally ordered 70,000 suckers.
That's actually pretty funny.
I think you should have to keep them. If you can't keep your kids away from your Amazon, that's on you,
If I
pal.
were her, do you know what I would do? I would open a bank. Be like, well, I got to get rid of these somehow.
Well, I got the suckers.
What else do I need?
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Coming up next is the 28th annual Microfest happening here in St. Louis at the Roan Festival grounds, and it benefits the Lift for Life gym. Joe Miller is the executive director of that gym, and he's with us next on KMOX.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they're very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-969-0686 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-969-0686. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-969-0686 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-969-0686.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Don't get lulled into believing the IRS is getting soft. It's just the opposite. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We are being told by IRS collection officers that their higher-ups are demanding that they get more aggressive than ever. So don't ignore them any longer. Level up. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call the Lance Story Law Firm today and let us get between you and the IRS. We'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney team who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURY, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
It is 11 o'clock. We've got sunshine, 63 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
This is Stuart McMillan live in Studio B as an officer and agent were shot by a man with a rifle in North St. Louis this morning. I was watching, Debbie, as SWAT went in to clear the house in the 5100 block of Wells. The suspect with a rifle thought to be barricaded inside, but in fact was dead, shot earlier by St. Louis City police officer and an ATF agent. I asked Chief Robert Tracy how they are doing.
Both officers shaken up as naturally they should be when they have to engage in something like this. No officer wants to get into a gun battle with anyone, but they did protect themselves, protect other people, and both of them are going to be okay, but very shaken up. And thank you for asking that question, the condition of our officers.
Once SWAT went inside the home, they found two dead bodies, a man and a woman, both adults. Police are now investigating to understand the dead suspect's connection with the bodies they found. And for when officers were originally called to the same house earlier in the morning after a spot shutter activated, they found a man dead on the porch just after 4 o'clock. That's 4 dead, including the suspect. Live in Studio A, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
This morning, the American Cardinals who voted in the papal conclave sat down to discuss the election of Pope Leo XIV, the first American pope in history. Cardinal Blaise Cupic, who is also from Chicago, talked about what he said to the new pope after he was elected.
I felt comfortable saying to Pope Leo, from one South Sider of Chicago to another, I promise you my respect, my fidelity, and my love.
Pope Leo spent his first year in the priesthood at Immaculate Conception Church in Compton Heights. That parish closed and the church is privately owned. 56% of Americans disapprove of President Trump's approach on higher education and threatening universities, while about 4 in 10 approve, in line with his overall job approval. Trump has pulled federal funding and, in one case, tax-exempt status for schools that don't embrace his agenda. President Trump floating the idea of cutting tariffs on China from 145% to 80% ahead of a weekend meeting among top U.S. and Chinese trade officials as he looks to de-escalate his trade war between the world's two largest economies. When Trump met with new Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, he said the U.S. provides Canada with subsidies of about $200 billion, but experts say the most generous estimates possible do not put the total costs anywhere close to that. Taking a look at the forecast sponsored by the Sandberg Phoenix law firm.
A nice afternoon with sunshine and a high of 72, then fair skies tonight, though 47. Mostly sunny and beautiful tomorrow, high 76. Sunday, sunshine and some clouds and a bit warmer for Mother's Day, the high 78. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's sunny and 63 degrees right now at 11:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we are more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers, an important decision, and should not be based solely on advertising.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Tomorrow, there will be more than 75 breweries from around the country and locally. They're going to be here for the St. Louis Microfest, which is back for its 28th year. It gets started at 12 o'clock tomorrow for the VIPs, 1 o'clock for general admission. And we are joined now by Joe Miller, who's the executive director of Lifts for Life Gym, which is the gym that benefits from this event. And Joe, it's good to have you in studio. How are you?
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Are you ready?
We are ready. We're ready to host the community for a fantastic fundraiser for a great cause.
And you said you've been doing this now 13 years. This will be the 13th?
That's right. 13 years that I've been involved with this organization. This is a crucial fundraiser for our nonprofit, for our inner city youth. So I encourage everyone to come out and support it. You don't have to buy a ticket. You can come out and stroll the festival grounds and buy some food, listen to some great music. But there's so much going on that I could share with you.
Well, let's start with Lift for Life, because that is what the Microfest is benefiting. And as you mentioned, it's a gym that's been working with St. Louis inner city youth with alternatives, positive alternatives to drug abuse, violence, and gang involvement. And how long has Lift for Life been doing that?
Yeah, Lift for Life Gym started in 1988. And right now we serve over 400 youth members annually, boys and girls, ages 8 to 18. Our center's in North St. Louis, and we provide free transportation, free meal every day at our gym, which is crucial, free fitness and weightlifting instruction, free mentoring, job tours, college tours, senior scholarships. But all the funds need to be raised from the community, to support our inner city youth and programs, to keep it operating daily and be a consistent, force in the lives of our city youth.
So is that where most of the funding comes from, just individual donors?
Yes, individual donors, the community, are our core special events. We don't receive United Way funding, government funding, so it's crucial that the community rallies around this cause and keeps it going so we can continue to make a positive impact in their life, like you said.
How successful has it been?
Very. I mean, you look at it from two ways. You want a child to grow through your program and develop life skills, character, confidence, communication skills. That happens with the daily engagement. But beyond that, if members are excelling in the weightlifting area and they want to join our competitive powerlifting team or our competitive Olympic weightlifting team, they can do that. We'll raise the funds to send them to local, regional, and national competitions. And over 50 kids have become national weightlifting champions through our program.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a great program. And obviously, people who want to support it can support Lift for Life. And they can also do it with this event, which you said it's the 28th annual St. Louis Microfest. But it's at a new location this year.
Yeah, this is the second year we're down off of Shoto.
Okay.
We're on the Roan Rum Bar, their festival grounds down there. That's 2107 Shoto. I want to make sure to mention that. And the Hamilton Hospitality Group is hosting this with us this year. They have great facilities. They have a great team there. And there's 3 different levels of tickets available for participation this year.
What are those 3 levels?
Yeah, you have the general admission and that main festival ground with the main stage. Have access to over 50 breweries just out in that area alone. But it's not just breweries. We have distilleries. You can enjoy ciders, seltzers, meads, canned cocktails. There's so much to enjoy this year. So it's really a craft tasting festival now, not just a craft beer festival. But we're talking brands that are local, regional, and national, and they'll each bring 3 to 4 of their styles with them to sample. So you have so much to offer out there. Then you have the VIP ticket, the VIP experience. Session Taco has partnered with us to provide an unbelievable meal that's paired with rare and specialty beers over in the VIP area. So the general admission ticket's $50, the VIP ticket's $80, and you get that awesome meal with a dessert from Nothing Bundt Cakes, and you get those rare and specialty beers. There's entertainment over there as well. And then new this year is a brunch. We've added brews, brisket, and biscuits. And that is
brisket and biscuits.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That is a higher price point. That's a 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Inside of Hamilton Steakhouse. So you're seated, you get 4 courses, and it's all paired up with a specialty cocktail, and a nice coffee with liqueur option, a Bloody Mary option, all kinds of rare beers that are paired with the food that's in there. Bogart's is behind this one, and providing just such a tasty meal there. So that's a new price point, and there's only 60 of those tickets available. So I encourage people to consider that if you're looking to treat mom, your wife, grandma, come down for a great time. You don't have to stay for the entire festival. You can just join that brunch. So there's 3 different options there to support the cause.
STLmicrofest.org. That's STLmicrofest.org if you want to get tickets for this. Again, tomorrow. And there's that the newer level you mentioned starts at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
Tomorrow, 10 to noon.
That's right.
Okay. And then from 12 to 4 is the rest of the festival. How has it changed in the 13 years that you've done this?
Yeah, it continues to evolve to just provide more opportunities to sample such great products that many of our local breweries and distilleries provide, but also in the regional and national scale. You know, I think there's a variety of things that are out there to enjoy now that people have never thought of. So come out of your safe zone and try something new. You may be turned on to something you may want to purchase, out here in the market. So I encourage people to really seek out that VIP ticket. So there's some rare and specialty stuff in there that you can't find in this market.
For example, what is something that maybe we are not aware of that we might want to try?
Yeah, the breweries from around the nation that you just can't get here, basically. And those are beers that they specifically chosen to pair with the food in there. And so you would really have to seek these out. So, Craft Republic's a big distributor and a big sponsor of ours. They're bringing a lot of these great brands and products. And for that brunch, Abby, their certified Cicerone, she's going to narrate that and walk you through why these are such awesome beverages paired with such awesome food.
And a Cicerone is like a sommelier, but for beer, right? Yeah. I knew somebody that was one of those.
Cicerone. I think I've heard that, but I wouldn't have remembered that that's what it's called. It sounds vaguely familiar, but that's what it is, a Cicerone. Have you ever had mead? Like true mead?
Isn't mead warm?
Is mead warm?
Okay.
What about?
I've had warm mead.
It's thicker than beer, right?
Yes.
Makes you feel like a Viking.
That's exactly why I had it. I felt like I was a Viking.
I feel like that would be, the old like Anglo-Saxons drinking mead. Anyway, I've never had mead, but you'll have everything from mead to canned seltzers.
Oh, everything.
I love that.
So many varieties, so many styles, so much to offer, so much to enjoy.
How have you guys done since the weird period that was COVID? Because all these events have to come back, right, and revitalize after COVID. How did you guys survive that?
Yeah, I think the local breweries and distilleries really rallied around our cause to help us get back on our feet and roll out the festival once again.
That's awesome.
I think major events and festivals are struggling right now because social media has made us so much more aware of so many things in our lives that you could take part of or take advantage of. So, you could look at your social and you could see so many events going on this weekend. So you have to pick and choose. Do you want it to be for a great cause like this? Do you want it to be leisurely out in nature? Do you want it to be around the breweries and distilleries? I think it's crucial that community supports community. That's why we can keep this alive, this event. It's not as large of a festival as it once was, but boy, do we have so much to offer still.
Oh, yeah. Well, and you could not have better weather than this weekend.
It's
like
amazing.
sunny degrees, mid 70s. It's perfect for an event like this. It really is picture perfect.
Yeah. Any time that it's not 90% humidity, it's going to be great. So, tomorrow is a perfect place for this at the Roan Festival Grounds, 2107 Shoto Avenue. And to go back to Lift for Life, that gym, in the years that you have been there, obviously things change. What do you think you need most from the community now that maybe you didn't need so much 13 years ago?
I don't think it's that you didn't need so much. I think funding is challenging for all the nonprofits right now. You don't have as much funding. There's worry and concern over state funding, government funding, funding from individuals that may just be holding onto their money with the economy and they're nervous about giving right now. That's understood, but you seek out programs that you truly believe in and you think are necessary, and keeping kids off the street and safe after school and away from crime, drugs, gangs, and violence is one of the main areas that I believe people should be supporting. It's supporting the youth and giving them a platform for success with this program and others.
Joe, if parents or, think this might be good for their kid if they want to get involved with it, what's the best way to do that?
Any youth between second grade and high school can join our program for free. We've never charged a dime for the transportation, for the meals, for the travel and the competitions, and so much more. So you become a member of our gym just like we would become a member of an exercise or fitness facility. You fill out the application, you give us consent to transport your youth member if you rely on that transportation and take part in some of the mentor sessions or the weightlifting if it's for you. But there's no charge, so it's free. If you're in the city limits, we can try to provide that transportation, which is crucial for so many people. If you live in the county, we can't promise that transportation, but you can still be a part of our program.
So it's open to anybody. It's just it's more difficult to get transportation the further out you
out
are.
in the county.
Okay.
Yeah, we have 3 vehicles, 3 drivers, and like I said, we're community funded. We need crucial support to operate daily, weekly, monthly, and give that consistency that the kids need. To give them something safe after school.
I know so many people of our listeners have heard of Lift for Life, but I know probably a couple have a question because I had to think twice and go, wait, Lift for Life gym, wait, isn't there a Lift for Life Academy? And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, are they the same thing? What is that relationship and what are the differences?
Yeah, for sure. There always needs to be clarity there. Lift for Life gym started first. And then 10 years later, Lift for Life Academy started inside of our gym in the location that we're at up on Cass Avenue. And it rapidly grew into the first charter school in the city of St. Louis. It's located down in Soulard. And they serve youth from kindergarten all the way through high school now. We have probably close to 100 kids from that school that are members of our gym. But there are other school partnerships that we have. And like I said, we pick up kids all over the entire city of St. Louis. So no matter where they reside in the city limits, they can become a member of our gym. But we are an after-school training center for inner city youth that operate 2:30 to 6:30 in the crucial hours, when you want to get kids off the street.
And then the Microfest is funding just the Lift for Life
Correct.
gym.
We are
'cause it's
separate
from
organizations. We are a 501c3 nonprofit
Gotcha.
after-school training center, and they are a private charter school. Yes.
You can donate directly to Lift for Life. It is liftforlifegym.org if you want to go to the website and do that. But again, tomorrow, might as well enjoy some beverages and some great food by going to the Microfest. The St. Louis Microfest happens again at the Roan Festival Grounds, 2107 Choteau Avenue. And the website for that, you could find it. You can find the event at liftforlife.org or go straight to stlmicrofest.org and get tickets for tomorrow. Again, it's going to be a beautiful day. We know there's a lot going on in St. Louis this weekend, but this is one of those that you might want to stop by.
That's
for
right.
sure.
Grab your crew and come on out for a great cause.
Joe Miller, the executive director for Lift for Life. We appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Have fun. It's going to be hectic
Yeah.
for you because you're running the damn thing, but it'll be fun.
Appreciate it. Love to have you guys out too. Have a good one.
That's Joe Miller with us. It is the Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
This month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight is testicular cancer, Dr. Woodson Smelser.
Yeah, so the first step is to talk to your doctor, and generally they would order imaging of the testicle and look for actual tumor, and oftentimes they will do an examination or send you to a urologist to have an examination. And I find that the place where a lot of times men have some hesitance or trepidation, obviously, because it seems like it may be an invasive exam, but that's an exam that could save your life.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more, and as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code RADIO. Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
We've been here 30 years, 30 Christmases in this house, and we have the traditions that most families have.
That's Terry talking about her experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We did Rhino Shield 14 years ago, and the house still looks the same as the first day. Rhino Shield really worked with me to help me get just the right, nice, soft yellow, and it's 14 years later, and it's the same color.
The main reason Terry called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by its 25-year transferable warranty.
It just sounded wonderful that we could have the house coated with Rhino Shield and not have to worry about it again for 25 years.
Take it from Terry. Give Rhino Shield a call now for a free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
There have been neighbors that have come by and said, "Did you just have your house painted?" Because they wanted to know who the contractor was. And I said, "No, it's actually Rhino Shield."
877-25rhino.com.
Check out the Terrace in Eureka for affordable senior living with 24-hour nursing supervision, delicious meals, medication management, and activities. The Terrace is affordable and will work with your Medicaid plan. Go to rspseniorliving.com and look for the Terrace Private Assisted Living.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
An important message from S&L Coins. S&L Coins pays top dollar for your gold and silver coins, old currency, gold-filled jewelry, scrap gold and silver, silver plating, gold and silver bullion. Get a quote with a call to S&L at 544-3600. S&L Coins, 544-3600. Or visit S&L Coins at 9300 Gravois, just east of McKenzie. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 Saturday. Before you sell, call S&L, 544-3600.
You asked, we delivered. KMOX, now on FM. Crystal clear sound at 104.1 FM.
Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on 104.1 FM KMOX. Text messages, 314-436-7900. This text says the English Premier League plays 2 games a week. MLS teams act like that's a lot.
I'm telling you, soccer needs to change a few rules if it really wants to catch on. Can you imagine if Major League Baseball, if the St. Louis Cardinals played multiple other random games in the middle of the season? That'd be confusing.
Well, hockey kind of does it now with that nations.
No, that was instead of the All-Star game. It was a break.
Well, they're still doing it every year, right?
Oh, no, they said that might have been a one-off.
Oh, well,
they
that's
said
dumb.
even with the success, it might have been a one-off. They're going back to an All-Star game.
Well, what's the point?
Hey, you've heard of Mr. Beast, and I guess his new show, he's like recruiting people to see if 100 men can fight a gorilla. Wait, is that it? All of a sudden, I lost my mind.
A gorilla.
Yes.
Yeah.
So literally, 100 men can fight a gorilla. Well, John Mulaney has his own little live show, which is actually pretty funny. And John Mulaney is one of my favorites. And he had his own spin on the challenge of the 100 men fighting a gorilla.
There's currently a lot of online discourse about who would win in a fight between 100 men and a gorilla.
This prompted a debate in our writer's room about whether 3 14-year-old boys could beat up me, John Mulaney. So on our final episode of the season, May 28th, the theme will be Teen Night. We will be talking about many teen issues. And I, John Mulaney, will square off in a very real fight against 3 14-year-old boys. Is this legal? So far, we think so. It's not assault, we know that, and we're vetting every step of it. I've been led to believe that if it's for TV, it's a lawful practice. Now, to be clear, I want to be clear. This isn't going to be like a fun, funny fight. Like, it's going to be me fighting these children and them fighting me as hard as we can. So, if you or anyone you know has access to a 14-year-old boy who is willing to fight me, John Mulaney, and might need to get something out of his system, please have their parent or guardian, not the minor, contact us at the email below. I want to fight John Mulaney at Gmail. Netflix legal wants me to say U.S. citizens only, but no, I'm opening this up to the entire world.
Okay, is that for real? It feels
I have no idea.
like it's for real. And, even how he said, is this legal? So far, yes, we know it's not assault.
He's 6 foot tall.
He often talks.
Well, here's the thing.
He talks about his effeminate hips. He said he has childbearing hips.
There are 14-year-olds. Some of the dudes are like huge.
Well, that's the thing.
They almost look like grown men.
That's the thing. With boys between 12 and 14, some of them have mustaches and some of them look like they're 6.
Right. So it's not going to be the 6-year-old looking ones that are going to try to fight him.
No, maybe that's what he's hoping for. Maybe he's hoping for a scrawny 14-year-old who still hasn't hit puberty. I don't know. Who's just little. Because boys, I feel like girls hit 14 and that's what they look like the rest of their life. The same height, everything. But with boys, not only do they grow at such different such different time frames, like I said, whether they're 12, 13, 14, but they can also change in college. I feel like boys are still growing and their faces change in college. And what I mean by 14-year-old, my height, when I was 14, that's all I grew. I was done. My height never changed.
And Mulaney seems to have put on a little bit of weight. And I don't think it's in a bad way. I'm just saying.
I think it's since he became sober.
Well,
he's not doing coke. He's not cocaine skinny anymore, is how he used to call it.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
So since he's bulked up a bit, cultivating mass.
But now I want to follow this because it feels like a horrible idea. He can't really hit a child. 14 is a child.
Can a parent consent? I don't think a parent can consent to allow their child to get beat up.
I don't think so either.
I don't think there's any way that's legal.
It can't be legal. It can't be a real fight.
Not for an adult.
Let
Because
me ask you
wasn't
this.
there just this hockey player who was he was 20 years old or something and somehow snuck into a 14 or a 15-year-old hockey game or something? I just saw this.
I did not.
I need to go look it up. But it was that, and he laid some kid out.
Oh my
And now
gosh.
I think they were pressing charges against him.
Hey, what do you think will be a more real fight, integrity of competition? John Mulaney fighting 14-year-olds or the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight? I kind of feel like Mulaney and the 14-year-olds might be more real.
I think that's what it is. I think you're right.
I think it's John Mulaney to me
Here
is
you
so
go.
funny.
I found it. It was a French guy. This was back in
Unbelievable.
Back in December. A French hockey community is reeling today after it came out one of their boys' leagues had been infiltrated by a 28-year-old man.
20.
He somehow convinced them to allow him into a U16 hockey game or a hockey team, and he was eligible to play in the league. He appeared in 3 games before one play stood out when he just laid out another player. He hit this guy hard.
So, okay. Did he
he hit this 15-year-old kid
convince
hard.
them by saying, I'm actually under 16? Or did he say, I'm not trying to be crude here, but was he like, I identify as a 15-year-old, you have to let me play?
No, I think his face looks kind of young, so I think
Okay.
he just convinced them that he was also young, but he was bigger than everybody else.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
Well-
this happened in France.
The French are so weird with age. The French. But yeah, I will say it's very interesting because young boys, they just, my brother played baseball. I think when he was 12, there was a pitcher that I promise had to shave his beard. Because my dad goes, if you look at his driver's license, it'll prove he's only 12.
You remember Danny Almonte? He was old enough to drive, and he got into the Little League World Series somehow. This
What?
was 15 years ago, probably. Look that kid up, baseball player. And he snuck in. He was at least 16, but I want to say he was closer to 18.
How do you have,
And was
like,
playing
any
with 12-year-olds.
Self-worth.
I don't know.
Bronze is like,
Just ridiculous.
you would do it. You'd go to a basketball tournament like, I'm going to own these kids.
So Dominique Roux, I believe I'm pronouncing it, the
Roux.
Frenchman,
Yeah.
charged with fraud, child endangerment, and assault.
Well, those seem fair.
So I can't wait for this because I used to watch Night Court. That was my first
Yep.
favorite sitcom.
Yes.
And a guy who appeared on that show multiple times, a comedian. I know you've heard of him. He's in town performing at the Funny Bone tonight and tomorrow. Yakov Smirnoff is coming up. Yeah. Yakov Smirnoff is coming up next on the Chris and Amy Show, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Give my friends at Zero Res a call today. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. Take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and tell them that Dave Glover sent you.
Currently, it is sunny and 65 degrees downtown. Absolutely gorgeous all day long. Tomorrow, a high of 78 and mostly sunny. The same thing on Sunday, mostly sunny, a high of 81.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of a new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER. Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Progressive knows road trips without your pet can be tough.
Hi, this is Next Stop Dog Boarding.
Hi, it's Scott again. How's Squeaks doing? You can tell if he's stressed by his eyebrows. Oh, and his breathing should sound like this.
Scott, Squeaks is exactly the same as last time you called.
Okay, let's talk in 20 to see if anything's changed.
With Progressive, your pet is covered up to $1,000 in vet bills in case of a car accident. So next time, you can take your pet with you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-day kitchen and bath. It's all about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-day kitchen and bath.
Do you love your house and hate the thought of assisted living? Whether you're caring for a loved one in your home right now or planning to live independently in the years ahead, call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. They can completely remodel your old bathroom in just 3 days and back up their work with a 100% satisfaction guarantee on both their quality and craftsmanship. If all you need is a new walk-in tub or easy entry shower to make your life easier, they could do just that for you. Avoid the hassle and stress of remodeling. Check them out on the web at 3daykitchen.com or call 3-Day Kitchen and Bath for your free design consultation today. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath. It's about time.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board certified master arborist with Timberline Professional Tree Care. In my nearly 30 years in the industry, I've seen firsthand what damage falling trees can do to your property. The sad thing is that most trees that fail have defects that can be identified by a well-trained certified arborist. At Timberline, we have 7 ISA certified arborists, 3 of which have gone through extensive training and testing to become tree risk assessment qualified. Our Track certified arborists can perform a thorough assessment of your tree and provide mitigation options for your peace of mind. If there's nothing wrong with your tree, we will let you know that it poses a low risk of failure. If it needs to be removed, we'll tell you in a detailed written report. It's all about honesty and integrity here at Timberline Professional Tree Care. So call us today to get a tree risk assessment scheduled, 636-479-7475, or contact us through our website at stltreecare.com.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Only in America would pizza get to your house faster than the ambulance can. Only in America, lemonade is made with artificial flavoring and dish soap made with real lemons. Only in America, every football game starts with them flipping a quarter. And then for the rest of the game, the whole crowd screams, "Get the quarter back."
Chris and Amy show on 104.1 FM KMOX, and we are very happy to have with us in studio comedian, and he's also is it Bransonian? What do you say? What do we call
never
people
heard
from?
that term.
I don't know. I just made it up.
Yeah, I like it. Bransonian.
A Bransonian.
Yeah.
Sounds fancy.
Yakov Smirnoff is with us
Bransonian.
and lives in Branson, Missouri. You got a theater down there. We were just talking about.
Yes, I do. For the last 32 years, I was doing Vegas and Atlantic City and Reno and Tahoe, and then the Soviet Union collapsed, and David Letterman had a top 10 list of things that will now change, and I made number 1 on the list. Yakov Smirnoff will be out of work. And I thought it was funny, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was 6 months later. None of my contracts in Vegas, Atlantic City, Reno, Tahoe, none of them were renewed. So I started looking for a place where they did not know that the Soviet Union collapsed.
So they didn't know in Branson?
They still
Do they know
don't.
now? Yeah.
No. 32 years. And
Do
I'm
all their
not telling.
globes
It
still
worked
say-
out. Huh?
All their globes, they're not even
It's
updated.
still
Just says
Soviet
USS.
Union.
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
still Soviet Union.
Do they have internet down there?
Depends. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, I think they do. Yeah.
Well, that was a smart business move on your part.
It was an emergency landing on my part. It was. Believe me, I was kicking and screaming. I'll tell you how I learned about Branson. I didn't know. And I was really in a bad place because I was living in Malibu between all these big stars and I was paying a lot of money in mortgage for the house, and then no money coming. And so all of a sudden it was an American dream and turned into a nightmare in over like 6 months period of time.
Wow.
And I was down in my luck. I didn't know what to do. And I got a phone call from Willie Nelson, the Willie Nelson. And he said, "I'm putting together an event for people in need." And I said, "Thank you, Willie."
You thought he meant you?
Well, that's the joke part about it. Yeah.
Come on, Robert.
But anyway, and he was doing a Farm Aid concert, and I went and I did it with him, and he's the one who told me. He said, "They love you in Branson. You're clean and you're family friendly. They'll love you." And so that's how I learned about Branson. It's a really nice place to go to hide from the Russians that are still looking for me. Yeah.
So when did you decide that you weren't just going to go there, but you were going to stay?
I didn't decide it. I decided it for me in some ways because I thought I'll just be there for a year and then go be back in Vegas and that wasn't happening. And then next year, and all of a sudden my crowds are growing and I would have full house, 2 shows. I was doing 400 shows a year.
Oh,
yeah. And money was coming in. All of a sudden I had 2 small kids at that time, and that was scary. And then all of a sudden here's this Branson that they don't care that the Soviet Union collapsed. They don't care. They just want some clean, good comedy, and that's what I was providing, and that's how I stayed.
It's pretty incredible that politics affected your career that much.
Yeah.
And that
it
quickly.
It did on the way up. I didn't count that because it did. I was writing jokes for President Reagan, speeches. I was like a supplier of jokes for the White House. You know,
Yeah, you were Ronald Reagan's favorite comedian.
That's how. Well, yeah. It helped. It did help when he was talking to Gorbachev and he was kind of getting the inside from me or some, jokes that might be funny. And so it worked. The Berlin Wall came down and so did my career.
It's a real catch-22 there.
Yeah.
Great job, President. Mr. President.
Well, I mean, you've done so much because you've done obviously your own career, stand up with the president. You've done television shows, you've done movies. I just think it's so cool that you were on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson because he's such a legend. How was that?
It was amazing. It took me a while to get on because the producer, Jim McCauley, was saying that Johnny is not going to like you. And for 6 years, he was telling me that every year, once a year, I would showcase for him. And he would say, no, he's not going to like you. And last time I was showcasing for him, he said, let's just cut to the chase. You're going to get on that show when the hell freezes over. And I started watching Weather Channel just in case, right? And that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
So I kind of let it go. And then I made the movie with Robin Williams, Moscow on the Hudson. Then I made a movie with Tom Hanks, Money Pit. Then I did a commercial, a Miller Lite commercial. And it was, in America, you can always find a party. In Russia, party always finds you, right? And Carson saw it. And that's how, and he said to Macaulay, why don't we have him on? And he said, well, we were about to.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I did my set. Johnny asked me to come sit on the couch with him, which was normally.
That was a big deal.
It's a huge deal, right? And I sat down and I said, Johnny, you in America, you have things we never had in Russia, like policemen have warning shots.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And he almost fell off the chair. And that just took the, and then Macaulay comes over in the break and he goes, can you do another one of these like a couple of months from now? I said, when the hell freezes over? Is that?
Did you
really? He goes, touche.
Did he ever apologize to you for it?
No.
Okay.
No. But I was on the show for 7 times.
Yeah.
And he was doing that. So, that was a good enough apology for me.
I saw you for the first time when you were on Night Court. That was my first favorite sitcom. Loved Night Court. And you used to be on quite a bit.
So I did 7 of those. Yeah. Yeah. It was a great, great fun show. Loved it. Every year they would bring me back. I wish they would bring me back now. But,
the new one.
Yeah.
And no one's ever reached out to you about it?
No, so far, no. But I'm in Branson. They don't know where it's like a witness protection program. You don't know where you are. It's true.
Well, you have an agent, don't you?
No. KGB agent, but that's not the same.
They're going to help.
No, it's not going to help.
Just bugging your home.
I got to ask you, because we've all seen clips of Ronald Reagan telling jokes. Did you tell him a joke, or did you give him the joke about buying a car and waiting 10 years?
He told me that. I knew that joke before.
Okay.
But when I saw first time I met him, that was a weird situation. I was performing at the Washington, D.C. There was a comedy cafe. And this guy comes over after the show, and he says, I'm going to have President Reagan and Nancy Reagan guests at my house for dinner, like 2 weeks from now. He said, would you like to join us? And I thought the guy was off the rocker. I'm going, oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then I realized he was like chief editor of Washington Times newspaper, so it was a legit thing. And he sent me tickets to go there, and I went. And I'm nervous. I'm like, this is really fairly early in my life, in my career there, and so I go there, and they introduced me to the president. There's only like 18 people. The whole thing is just 18 people. And they said, Mr. President, this is Yakov Smirnov. He's a Russian comedian. And he and President Reagan immediately said, oh, have you heard this joke? And he tells me the joke about the Russian guy who wants to buy a car. It took forever in those days to buy a car. And he goes to a dealership, and the manager said, put your name on the list, come back in 20 years, pick up the car. The guy said, do I come back in the morning or in the afternoon? The manager said, what's the difference 20 years from now? The guy said, the plumber is scheduled to come that morning, right? I cracked up. I didn't expect the president of the United States telling me a Russian joke, and it's so funny. His timing was great. So now all these 17 people look at me. Now it's my turn to entertain the president. Yeah, so I said, Mr. President, when Americans landed on the moon, that was a big slap in the face to the Soviet government. So Brezhnev called all the cosmonauts into his office and said, Americans landed on the moon. We have to land on the sun. They said, no, we can't do it. We will burn up. He said, do you think I'm stupid? You land at night. And boy, was I happy when they laughed. I got to tell you. And then him and I just got along, and we just kept telling jokes. Everybody was laughing the whole evening. There was an evening when President Reagan sent a military helicopter to Libya to show American strength in front of Gaddafi. And so it was a very tense night. And here he is out from the White House, and they had to, the whole thing was just like a barricade. They had a medical facility set up there, and in another bedroom with his blood. The whole thing was pretty intense, right? And behind the president stands this Marine with the football, which is the nuclear
football,
codes, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
And so he's standing like right there behind the president, and I'm telling jokes to the president, and I'm like, and he's telling jokes to me, and the Marine is trying not to laugh, and he is supposed to like stand there, and my goal is like, I'm gonna crack you, I'm gonna get you. Eventually I did, but I was nervous because if I bomb, that's one thing, but if he bombs, that's a different story, right?
That's so good.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Our relationship with Russia is interesting now.
Yes.
Do you still talk a lot about that? Okay.
No, I don't. I'm actually doing the Tonight Show on June 5th for the first time in 35 years.
Really?
Yeah. And so the reason they liked me because I only said that I'm originally from Russia. Thank you very much. That's it. And I don't talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's too tense right now because, and I don't know when it's going to end. It's been, because I'm originally from Ukraine. And in the Soviet Union, it was like one big country, right? Soviet Union. But so when I came to America, Americans didn't want to say Soviet Union. It's too long. So they would say Russia. And I go, okay, Russia. And that's how I became Russian comedian. So now I don't get into it. I talk about relationships. I talk about marriage. I talk about laughter in a relationship. And that's kind of been my focus because, I got hurt with the political situation with my, career going down the drain. When you talk about men and women, that doesn't go away. This will go forever.
Right.
This is like evergreen. So comedy is about that. And I have a beautiful wife and, I have a lot to talk about.
But just going back to where you came from when you came to the United States. Is this correct that you were performing on ships in the Black Sea, and that's how you first interacted with Americans
That's
and
correct.
thought maybe I'll go there? Or what?
That's correct.
How did
That's
that
exactly
happen?
what happened. Well, in the Soviet Union, it was very strict that we were not allowed to talk to foreigners. Yeah, so if you see a foreigner or if you see a group, you got to go on the other side of the street. And if you're caught, you might get in trouble. So we did not communicate. And on the cruise ship, I was master of ceremonies, and we had the groups of people from socialist countries like Czechoslovakia, Bulgaria, Germany. Then it would be Germany, and there would be Americans and Australians and stuff like that. So my job was to organize kind of evening entertainment. So I would do like Miss Cruise or something that would be kind of international, so no language barrier. So they would just run with an egg on a spoon, or who is going to win, men, women, whatever. And they would give me an interpreter for each group, and the interpreter I would tell them what's going to happen, and they would tell it. But I spoke only Russian. I didn't speak English. I didn't speak any other language. And I was able to communicate with them, and I saw something that I didn't see before. It sounds so strange. I saw a spark in, especially Americans. They had that spark in their eye that was spelled like freedom. They were enjoying themselves. They weren't like, I'm not supposed to do this. They were free to do whatever. And I loved it. I wanted spark of freedom in my eyes someday, and then maybe in my children's eyes. So that's how it started. That's when it was like, I want to, and I told my parents, and my mom was very nervous. Dad wanted to get out of there, but mom was nervous that I wasn't very bright, so she was concerned that I won't learn the language and I won't know what to do in America. But when she saw me perform in front of all these groups of people that didn't speak my language, and yet they were still laughing, she was a smart lady. She went like, you got an international audience. We should go. And that's how it became.
Your story is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's super fascinating. Yakov Smirnoff is going to be at the Westport Funny Bone tonight and tomorrow, 7:30 and 9:30 tonight. Tomorrow, 6 and 8:30.
Yes.
You can get tickets at yakov.com.
I would love them to come. I guarantee you're going to laugh your yak off.
I like that. We have with us from Branson, Missouri, Yakov Smirnoff is with us.
Sir.
Thank you for coming in. This
Thanks
was awesome.
for having me. Appreciate it.
It's Chris and Amy on 104.1 FM.
If you need to hire, it seems like the whole process can be exhausting. You search resumes, wait for the right candidates to apply, set up initial interviews. It's a lot of time and work. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates for your job the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro is super easy to use. You simply pick a time, and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day. Best of all, you save time and energy.
Try Zip Intro for free right now at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow. Once again, go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25rhino.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan from McKelvey Homes. Since 1898, we've been building homes of legendary quality with personal service for families in St. Louis for over 127 years. And to mark this special occasion, we are celebrating with our anniversary gift of $18,980 in options on all homes in all communities across St. Louis and St. Charles counties. When you're ready to move up to McKelvey, visit McKelveyHomes.com.
Mizzou football is here to stay. After an undefeated home season and a second straight 10-win year, the Tigers are looking for more in 2025.
Eli and the boys have done it again.
With a top 10 transfer portal class and a strong home schedule highlighted by Kansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and Texas A&M, you don't want to miss out. Get your spot in line by joining the season ticket waitlist at mutigers.com/FB waitlist. MIZ.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Truly, Yakov Smirnoff is a
awesome.
fascinating story. And it did not occur to me that because I was young when the Soviet Union collapsed, and I do remember his comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I remember him mostly from watching Night Court, or that's the first time I saw him. But I didn't realize, I guess, that his career really had an issue because of the collapse.
Yeah.
And then you think about what that's the stuff he talked about, right? And there was a fascination with him because he was from this place that we were all not afraid of, but like uneasy to interact with. And just a super fascinating guy, and living in Branson for over 30 years now.
Right. I know I'm still processing everything that he's done. The movies, being invited to the couch on the Johnny Carson show, being friends with Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
And now that I think about just like how quick-witted and funny and self-deprecating Yakov Smirnoff is, it's kind of funny because you can see the Reaganite type joking, like when after Reagan, the assassination attempt, and that famous video of he's giving a speech and a balloon pops and he's like, missed me.
Yeah.
Like I kind of feel like you could see how those two would get along.
Yeah, and so Yakov is at the Funny Bone Westport tonight, 2 shows, tomorrow 2 shows, and just go to his website, yakov.com. That was cool for me. Like I said, Night Court, that was it, baby. That was my number one before Seinfeld came along.
I will say Ben Boyd, formerly with KMOX, now with the St. Louis Cardinals, had a Yakov joke memory. In every country, they make fun of a city. In the U.S., you make fun of Cleveland. In Russia, we make fun of Cleveland.
Now I feel like it's St. Louis. I feel like we're the new Cleveland. Don't make fun of us. We're trying. All right. Anything you missed on the show, please download the Odyssey app, and you can go back and listen to everything. The interview with Yakov Smirnoff, if you missed that, or whatever else. Cardinals baseball is live. They'll play tonight, and you can listen to it live right from your phone. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. The Gas House Gang is coming up next. I got Mike Claiborne with me today. John Rooney will join the show. We're going to talk some Cardinals baseball coming up at 12 o'clock here on 104.1 FM KMOX. Yeah. Dance monkeys. I don't want to have to do anything for this hour.
This Memorial Day weekend, bring your